Few people win the World Cup as a player. Very few people win the World Cup as a manager. Only 3 men in history have done both. One of them is Didier Deschamps. I mean, what a team. For our younger viewers, that's Zidane, Desailly, Leboeuf, Thuram. I could go on. And in 1998, those legends were captained by Didier Deschamps. Before that tournament, Deschamps had been winning league titles and Champions Leagues with Marseille and Juventus and had led Les Bleus since 1996. They hadn't even qualified for the World Cups in 1990 and 94, but Deschamps had spearheaded the Renaissance. It culminated in that final against Brazil. The 30-year-old playing at the base of midfield was keen to get stuck in. Fais-lui savoir que tu es là, French for let him know you're there, according to Google Translate. Zidane and Petit got the glory, but Deschamps controlled the game before lifting the trophy into the Parisian night sky. After winning the Euros 2 years later, he hung up his boots and jumped into management. He had spells in club football before, in 2012, being put in charge of his nation. France scraped into the 2014 World Cup via the playoffs and were pretty pleased about it. Even a quarter-final defeat couldn't dampen the optimism. The tables, French fans believed, were starting to turn. They were runners-up to Portugal in their own Euros, but that silver medal around the manager's neck was about to change colour. In 2018, World Cup magic. France handed an almighty beatdown to Croatia, and Deschamps got his hands on this for a second time. It meant that he joined Brazil's Mario Zagallo and Germany's Franz Beckenbauer as the only men to have won the World Cup as a player and manager. France's victory even turned their president, Emmanuel Macron, into a meme. He still made me laugh, honestly. Deschamps went close to defending the title in 2022, but some guy called Lionel Messi had his own storyline to complete. Deschamps captained legends, he managed legends, and his World Cup achievements are legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this guy his flowers.
Hello and welcome to the Final Word with me, Majestic, alongside legendary Premier League gaffer Alan Pardew. And we're talking about England, Thomas Tuchel's comments, the Three Lions performance and another match against Argentina live on talkSPORT on Wednesday. Later we'll be discussing Spurs, Newcastle when we head to the USA to get all the latest from our talkSPORT colleagues. Remember, we are live on YouTube, so you can watch as well as listen. But right now, we want your England calls, so pick up the phone, 03 717 22 33 44 to air your views to the nation. It's the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT. As you can hear from my voice, a little bit croaky.
I'm a picture of health.
Where did you watch the game last night, Pods?
I watched it at home.
Nice,
I
sensible.
don't like people, I've decided.
I know that sounds crazy, but I know what you mean. We love our listeners, of course.
Of course. No, I meant I don't like
being in large crowds.
In when the game's on. I like to be isolated.
I'm the same. You like to watch the game.
Watch the game.
Yeah, I was at the official talkSPORT fan zone last night in the SI warehouse at Villa Park.
And did that go well?
That was very good. Great atmosphere there.
Well organised.
Very well organised.
Well paid.
Well,
not bad.
It's a good gig.
Yeah, good.
But today I'm supposed to be in Cyprus in Ayia Napa, but I missed my flight, so I'm here.
Ayia Napa?
Yeah.
I went there when I was 17, I think.
Did you?
Madhouse it was then.
So, yeah.
And the British Army was pretty dangerous because obviously the young boys who'd just been in the army were let loose. Blimey, that used to get lively in that centre.
Yeah, so lucky you're stuck with me today. I'm back. Imagine, it's been a while since we've just been the two of us.
Well, and then we haven't really reflected too much on the World Cup in our own kind of way.
No, and England, of course, and we're going to be
I'm
talking about that.
wine gums today. Look,
We'll talk about it in a moment's time. I believe we've also got some footage from the fan zone that we're going to show. Do you want to see what it looked like the fan zone last night?
Of course.
So if you are watching on YouTube and on Smart TV, we can show you to look. This is the scenes.
Oh, good shades.
Yesterday,
You look like Tom Ford.
So that is the fan park. Look at the scenes at full time. There was beer going everywhere. Look, see the beers in the air.
Yeah.
For those that are listening on the radio, you can see the beers. The waters going everywhere. It was a great atmosphere there. And of course, Argentina, England, the semi-final of the World Cup. I can't believe I'm saying it. The semi-final.
And there is a little bit of history between them.
There's lots of history that we're going to talk to. But if you go to talksport.com/fanzone, you can get your tickets.
Is that Villa Park?
It's right at Villa Park. And so also, if we were talking about Spurs later on, and I know I see Gabs last night, Gabby's been crying a lot about Spurs' business. So if you want to go and support who wants to watch England, go to the TalkSport fan zone, talksport.com/fan zone to get your tickets for Wednesday. I must say, if you're going to watch it anywhere and you're around that area, I would 100% go there. Atmosphere, brilliant.
Was it?
They were singing all the songs.
And does Aggie sort of talk a little bit before the game?
Yeah, Gabby came out of a nil. They had a little bit of a chat. And, he got a massive response there. Lots of Villa fans, they loved him.
Yeah.
But, great atmosphere. And, of course...
he was good at Villa, though, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was good at Villa.
Absolutely. And, of course, the love-hate relationship the Villa fans going to have with Jude Bellingham, because he comes from Birmingham City, of course, like as a player. But let's start with England there, because... Jude Bellingham. He might be Sir Jude Bellingham if we go and win this.
Well, we said, right before we sort of get into this competition that he seemed to be giving out the right noises, didn't he, before the tournament even began. He looked in a good place. He looked fit and strong. Thomas was talking highly about him. They seem to have resolved their differences, although we've had a little confrontation last night that we'll be talking about. But his performance levels have been off the charts, and just some of his footwork is terrific, and his body strength. He gets out of situations. When I see Argentina, only Messi gets out of really complicated stuff. He just finds a wriggle room, and Bellingham's beginning to do that for us. There was a couple of situations last night where I don't think an England player would have got out of
really tight spaces.
Yeah, and his little didn't out of his feet and then just pass the ball forward or whatever. Outstanding.
So for those that are listening and watching, of course, on YouTube and your smart TVs, the phone lines, as we do on a Sunday, are open for you to call. We can't do this show without you. TalkSport, powered by you, the fans. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. We want to hear your thoughts on England, the performance last night, and we want to talk about the manager, because after the game last night, the interview he had was saying that we were lucky. Then there was a big discussion between him and the interviewer about the mentality.
Yeah, it was Gabriel Clark was the interview.
Yeah.
On ITV, and it got lost in translation. It, got lost a little bit in what was being, I think, meant by Gabriel Clark. Thomas was very emotional, which you are when you're interviewed straight after a game, and it all got kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Where he thought he was being accused of the mentality of the team wasn't right, but actually Gabriel wasn't trying to say that, but it just didn't come out right. Anyway, he responded in that he was really unhappy about the way the team played, and I think as a purist, as a football purist, that I like to think I am, looking at the game, the beauty of the game and what was great tactically about us, not a lot. It really was quite raw stuff. Digging in and all that tough side of the game that we're really good at.
And your big players stepping up.
And then a couple of moments of real big quality out of your classic individual players, particularly Bellingham, that got us through. But when you look at Argentina, which was about 2 hours later, well, they were very, very similar, but have Messi. So they have their own star quality, but they still had they didn't have any rhythm to their game. It wasn't like we're watching the only team really that is functioning is France, isn't it? At the moment, Spain,
and even
Spain are not been.
France were
brilliant.
Frustrated by Paraguay. They was able to frustrate France quite well. So if you're going to if you're thinking about maybe if it's a possible meeting with France, if you get past Argentina, then you can have a look at what Paraguay did to frustrate them, because you can definitely frustrate the French, I think.
And don't you think we should give a little nod to Norway? Because I thought at times they were brilliant.
They were. Well, for me, and again, we're going to have this discussion about, the wide players for England, because I thought especially Oscar Bob came on, and I think it's Musa, they were 10 times better than what we offered down the wings.
Yeah,
they were a threat.
Yeah.
And all they wanted to do was take our defenders on. They wanted to dribble. They wanted to be positive with the ball. That's been probably one of my biggest concerns for England. We got to talk about Madueke.
We also got to talk about, and I want to talk about Erling Haaland.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into him.
Oh, subbed. What's that about?
Yeah, the sub was strange, isn't it? Last 15 minutes of the World Cup, even if he's tired, even if he's injured.
That didn't make any sense to me.
Because I felt once he came off, they stopped looking for the cross. They didn't look for the cross again.
Why do you take him off? There was a couple of things I got maybe as theories on that, but we'll come to it later.
03717 22 3344 is the number to call. The phone lines are now open for you to have your say on England. We want to hear from your England fans. How far can we go in this World Cup? Can we finally bring football home after 60 years of hurt? Do you know what? The nation needs it right now. Do you imagine how healed this country would feel if we win that cup? The unity would bring everyone together.
Well, yeah, I mean, the country is in a strange place, particularly politically, with a new prime minister who hasn't been voted in, really. He's sort of been manoeuvred in. And the sort of cost of living and how tough it is, it would 100%. Be a major lift.
It would be beautiful. It'd be a beautiful thing. Yeah. So hopefully those boys can bring it home for us. As I mentioned, Madueke.
And the German.
Yeah. Well, that would be very interesting.
And the German.
I think that would heal some past relations as well. But Madueke, he was given a 1 out of 10 by Adrian Durham.
Adrian gave him 1 out of 10.
Adrian gave him 1 out of 10. Jamie O'Hara gave him a 3 out of 10.
What is wrong with you? He does he does steam in, doesn't he? Like he's a 2-footer, Adrian.
Yeah,
he's a 2-footer.
But okay, if we take,
I only give him a 2-match ban. Can I give him a red card and 2-match ban?
No. We need him.
Okay. All
right. He knows I love him. If you take Adrian Durham's score and Jamie O'Hara's score,
what did he get? 2,
3. So that's 4 out of 20. So if we're going to go on averages, we're going to go 2 out of 10. Okay. Now, Madueke on that right hand side for me is one of the weakest points of our game. And I think the way that we're playing with Rice and Anderson together, I think the width is where we're supposed to create, isn't it? That's the whole point of
and threaten the goal, which we're not doing from wide areas.
Correct. And as you said yesterday, apart from Jude, and maybe Harry, no one ever looks like scoring, and that for me is a problem.
Of course, it's a problem because you can't rely on those guys, and you become one-dimensional. So, with wide players coming in off the flank, particularly Saka when he was in red-hot form with that left foot scoring goals, curling stuff into the far post, and creating chances, ricochets, etc. That's not happening. Gordon on the left has had some moments, but he's still not really threatened the goal.
No. Mexico was his best game.
Yeah. I actually thought Madueke yesterday, he went down the outside, I think, in his first moments of the game. He did quite well, but his cross went behind the goal, really poor cross. And I don't know if it affected his confidence. He just seemed to lack confidence, didn't he, from that moment onwards? Yeah. He didn't really look like he wanted to get at the fullback. He was opting out of situations where he really needed to be positive. It was a difficult half for him, and no surprise, I don't think, that he got substituted.
Al, the Arsenal fan, regular listeners, got involved. He says, good afternoon, Kevin and Alan. I hope you're both well, gents, because you're looking great. Thank you very much. We got away with one yesterday. We played the first half with 9 players, with Declan clearly not right, and Noni, who was absolutely pony. Thank heavens for Jude. God bless. That's from Al, the Arsenal fan. As an Arsenal fan, even he can see it there. Declan definitely was off.
Can I just talk to you about Declan, right? Which I learned as a manager. When I had a player ill, one of my regular players, I always, when I was a young manager, always played them, thinking that they're that good.
Even illness,
top level football. So when you're talking about professional football, it's the top level. International level is obviously a level above that. But what I'm saying is, when you're playing top level sport, If you're sick, poorly, and they never played well, never. So, of course, when I got older and I realised that if a player wasn't right, I wouldn't play him.
Yeah.
Because they just can't produce. They haven't got the
guile,
the emotional thought process to be like happy and be good. They're kind of down, and their game goes down. And Deck looked down, yesterday, didn't he? You only had to look at him. He wasn't like buzzing and being the Declan Rice that we know. So that was a mistake that Thomas made there, I thought, playing him.
Well, the thing is, one thing we know about Declan Rice, his set pieces are incredible normally.
Yeah, of course.
And literally, it wasn't even beating the first man. It was terrible. So, yeah,
let's rewind as well, because I thought in the game before that they were poor too.
I agree. With that.
It hasn't really been his strength, and obviously we know, and hopefully going forward, and he recovers, it will be an asset for us.
Matt just messaged us. He said, I can't confirm this, but Zlatan, who we're loving, by the way.
Zlatan, we like Zlatan.
He allegedly said at half-time that if the ball did touch the wire, there's this whole debate, it touched the camera wire.
Well, it did. There's no doubt about that. It fell like a stone.
Then the wire had a better performance than Madueke. Zlatan is brutal, isn't he?
Yeah, it is.
Listen, imagine Adrian and Zlatan together. There'll be 1s and 2s out of 10 everywhere. Listen, we've settled into the show. It's Sunday. It feels like normal Sunday.
Nice. It's nice. We're back.
We're back. The boys are back. The boys are back. 03717 223344. That means the phone lines are now open for you to call us. Give us a call. Have your say as England are in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
Go on, England.
And can we celebrate that today with some tunes? Some music.
I've got a
we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
But as they say, are you entertained? What changes would you make to the team? 03717 223344. It's Madge and Pards. It's Sunday afternoon. Life feels good. The semi-finals of the World Cup away. It's talkSPORT.
Newcastle's summer exodus is set to reach a crisis point. Sean, you'll have heard this news. Sandro Tonali, Anthony Gordon, of course, already out the door. Club captain and fan favourite Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly informed the hierarchy that he wants to join champions Arsenal. With another star player forcing his way out, Darren Bent raised serious concerns about what this loss could mean for Eddie Howe next season.
Yeah, I do feel for Eddie Howe. I really do, because again, if Bruno leaves tonight, he's obviously gone to Tottenham as well. Isaac, they just haven't been able to kind of recruit the players certainly the quality that they've lost. And you look at what they've bought some of these players for. Isaac, was it 60 million? They're selling for 120. Like tonight, they bought him for a fee. They're selling for more. So clearly, he's improving these players. But at some point, I think if Newcastle do want to go to the next level, they've got. I know it's hard with the PSR and the financial fair play, but if they do want to go to the next level and then stay there, they've got to find a way of holding on to some of these players.
Oh, look at Darren and his floral number. Watching on the smart TV, I like that. Sure. Do you have sympathy for Eddie Howe in this situation? The latest is that Bruno has agreed personal terms with Arsenal, but Newcastle's stance is that he remains not for sale.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's really tough, and the challenge that you have is not just if one of your big players goes at any football club, at any level really. People understand there's a time and a place. When two go, that can make other players a bit itchy and a bit nervy. But then if three go, all of a sudden they go, hang on a minute, who are we bringing in? And I think they're right on that cusp. I don't know their situation at PSR, but I've been through that, obviously, in my time at Everton, so I know how dangerous that can be. But I think losing the players of that quality, I think that's really tough on Eddie, and I think he's done a great job there. So hopefully, I mean, look, you never know on the other side of that. Good people in their recruitment there. They've shown that over the years, so they might have people lined up, don't forget. So these things can twist very quickly when you get a freshness in the camp and a newness and some quality, and all of a sudden it can feel different.
Rodgers coming onto it, right footing, good try, spilled by the goalkeeper, and bundled in. England lead, it is Jude Bellingham again. They've been rotten for 92 minutes in Miami, but he has taken a sad song and made it a whole lot better. Bellingham in first half stoppage time, early in extra time, and England for the very first time lead Norway in this World Cup quarter-final.
Judy, 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 Judy. Come on, Part, sing with me.
Oh, no, I ain't got a bit to sing. This is the na-na bit.
Oh, wow. Of course, that's how it sounded here on talkSPORT last night. Great from Jim Proudfoot. Jude took a sad song and made it a whole lot better.
Good line.
Love that. Great line
good
from
line.
Jim. Him and Piercy have been sensational.
Yeah, well, they're a top team, aren't they?
They are.
They have the top people here at talkSPORT.
Adrian, Jim, Stuart Pearce. That's top tier, innit?
Yeah, very, very good.
That's like,
And I actually say that, you know, they've got to get the ammunition, haven't they?
Yeah.
And with the England team, give them the ammunition, or Jude did in particular.
absolutely. Now, it was a sensational women's final yesterday at Wimbledon, and today is the turn of the men. So let's get all the latest from talkSPORT's Lisa O'Sullivan.
Well, centre court is brilliantly lit from the hot sun blazing down onto the match-worn grass, significantly less green than it was 2 weeks ago. After a championship without rain, only the 9th in more than 100 years. The gentlemen's singles final is underway. Expect more big serving, few rallies to start with, and that's how we have got underway. Yannick Sinner and Sasha Zverev playing themselves into this competition. They're in peak condition for the final. We've had straight holds from both players. Yannick Sinner serving first, leads 2-1 in the first set.
Thank you very much, Lisa. You've been enjoying Wimbledon, Potts?
Yeah, I went the first week, and it's such a massive event now. It's far bigger than it's ever been, but it's they do it very, very well. That's why it's the biggest and best tournament that there is.
I'm playing a bit of paddle after the show tonight.
Right, paddle.
Loving the paddle.
Good for you as well.
Oh, mate, it's great.
Get the old heart going.
Oh, 100%. Mate, 90 minutes of paddle. You come home, you don't realise how much work you've done. For a big man, I can move.
In my area, in the stockbroker belt, a lot of females playing it, and they're picking up lots of injuries. So my advice to those who are a bit novice to the paddle game is to stretch and make sure that you are well prepared for the rigours that it puts on your body.
Well,
Have you pulled anything?
No, but I have noticed getting like a lot of lower back pain because you play so low.
Correct.
Because it comes off the wall and you're playing off the back wall.
Yeah, you're always bending
You're
down.
doing a lot of... So it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully, we might get a call up as the dream team for the paddle tournament when they do it on talkSPORT.
They do a paddle tournament?
They do, yeah. I've seen some.
Listen, I was an ambassador in some advertising thing for paddle. I have got a little bit in the locker. Because I used to be a tennis player, of course.
Yeah.
Not professionally, but a decent tennis player. So paddle is if you got tennis skills,
yes,
it's the go-to game.
Although it's very different, so you have to adjust the game.
Yeah,
throw you at first.
But your wrist action and the way you put spin on the ball is very similar to tennis.
Yeah, but you just have to take a lot less out of your shots.
Yeah, and it's
the way it is. After England's 2-1 win against Norway last night, the boss Thomas Tuchel spoke to talkSPORT and had this to say about his side's performance.
I'm a bit mixed feelings. Part of me is incredibly proud of the players and the group and the mentality again and the team spirit to overcome adversity and so much switch of momentum in this match. We never stopped believing and we never stopped believing and taking care of things. Substitutes again were fantastic with their impact. There's another part at the moment that I thought the game was not on highest level from both teams, and I think we could have done better in many moments. But I have to find a balance for that because I don't want to spoil the party, of course. And still, a big part of me is a football coach, and so I think it's my right to be not 100% happy with the performance.
The winning gaffer there, Thomas Tuchel, speaking to talkSPORT about his side's performance. Then that leads us on to his comments, because then Jude Bellingham afterwards kind of says, after playing in those conditions, he's like, it was hard out there. And, I think they're trying to make a little bit too much out of what was said. I don't think if you're the gaffer, if you're Thomas Tuchel, and your number one man, one of your number one men talk like that.
He is the number one man.
You're not going to be annoyed at him, are you?
No, you're not going to be annoyed at him. But it's a conversation that you need to have. You need to address it in some way. I would have addressed it with some sarcastic remark.
Yeah, hot out there, was it?
Well done, Jude. Yeah. Nice comments, by the way. But I think both of them and the emotion of the situation. I thought when the question got put to Jude about what Thomas had said, he genuinely looked shocked, didn't he?
Yeah.
You could see it in his eyes. He didn't need to say anything. You could just look in his face and see he was like aggrieved about it. But like a beef between a player, even a great player, and a manager is not a bad thing. It's not. Don't
means they're
think
winners.
Yeah, don't think that it all even when you win, it's all happy. It's not. Like I've been in winning dressing rooms where a top player has had a real go at another player over an instant where he could have passed, we could have got another goal, for example, or we nearly conceded at the end where might have lost the game. So you're gonna get beefs, and that's good. It builds relationship because it's a bit like a relationship you have with your wife or your girlfriend. You have a beef, but the best bit is the making up bit, isn't it?
Of course.
That's the bit that then now you're even more together. So Jude and Thomas will probably come out of this stronger, even though at this where we are right now, in the tabloids and everybody going to be jumping on it tomorrow, it'll be headline news and trying to put some more.
That's why I imagine Pards are backing the boys, and we're not going to make a fuss about it. We're going to say, hang about, it's going to make them stronger. And they're both winners.
Yeah, and I think if I was looking at the game, and I think Thomas sitting on the sideline, even though he knows how hot he's in the stadium, he's in the stadium. He probably doesn't really appreciate how difficult it is out there. When you're running around physically trying to create a team performance that looks like a team that's going to go on and win the World Cup.
Correct.
We don't look like that team. There's no doubt about that. We are playing in conditions where it's not easy. So it is tough. It's a grind a little bit. But somewhere along the line, and Atlanta, it looks like we're going to have the roof on, hopefully. It will be a lot easier and help Argentina and help us in terms of producing better displays where people are thinking more clearly, have more energy, and we get maybe a better product in terms of the look of the game, if you know what I mean.
Well, we've got plenty of calls waiting for us, Pards, and I can't wait to speak to you guys. It's been ages since we had a good old natter on a Sunday afternoon. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344 is the number to call us. We're going to get your calls straight after this. It's talkSPORT.
I mean, as recently as 2024, Bruno Touzazol, he told everybody who cared to listen what he wanted to achieve at Newcastle.
Never said that I would like to leave. Since I signed for the club, I always said I want to put my name in the club history, and nothing changed. Nothing changed for me. It is keeping going. I still want to win some trophy for me. When I signed for the club, I said I want to play in Champions League, and everyone said that I was crazy. And we got it. Now I wanna be in Champions League again. I wanna win something for the club. I think the fans deserve. We are worked so hard to get it. So this is still my dream.
And then a year later, Simon, they win the Carabao Cup, and Bruno says, "This is my second home. We're making history. Someday, when I leave this club, I want the fans to sing my name the way they do Alan Shearer." I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, look, first and foremost, ask yourself the question: why are these players suddenly all deserting the sinking ship? It's not a sinking ship, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly ambitious one. It doesn't appear to have an ownership model that everyone thought was going to change the whole direction of football. Oh my God, we've just sold to a nation state, one of the richest nation states, and look what they're going to do to football. But they haven't done anything. They're going to buy everybody. They're going to buy Ronaldo. They're going to buy Messi. They're going to have this player here, that player, this player, and they haven't. Yeah. They bought a bunch of players that to some extent, they've gone and made better. And these players are now doing what every player does, which is go, Liverpool.
Yes.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid. And that's what Newcastle have found themselves in a position of doing. So ask yourself the question, despite the vilification of a player that 2 years ago said he wanted to stay, nothing lasts forever. He's done his 2 years. He is entitled to leave. How he leaves is the key component part of this. But also, why? Why are Newcastle now a place where people want to leave from?
Yeah.
And that's the problem Eddie Howe's got. That's the problem that Matey Boy says that to everyone they're going to win the league by
chief
2030.
exec, yeah.
Those are the challenges that they've got.
You are listening to the final word, the World Cup final word with Madge and Pards. You've been asking for this one, Pards, haven't you?
Yeah, listen, I don't know, because obviously it's your world, right? The DJ world. I want you to have a Zoom tomorrow. Get all the DJs together, because obviously you can contact them, right? A bit like old managers. We all, Tony Pulis and that, we get hold of each other, right? Get hold of all the DJs. Get this on the playlist so that the boys can all do the conga to the Vindaloo song. I miss that. This is what's missing in this World Cup, the Vindaloo.
We moved on. It's Wonderwall now.
No, I know it's Wonderwall. I'm happy with Wonderwall. We can do Wonderwall. But let's get Vindaloo in the section.
You want Vindaloo in the mix?
I want it in it.
I'll tell you what, the trail there for England, Argentina. Goosebumps. 40 years since the hand of God. Do you know what I'm thinking? World Cup 98 France. Argentina, Simeone and David Beckham.
The moment.
Yeah. Beckham got his redemption, didn't he, with that penalty when
he's a billionaire. That's his redemption.
Well, yeah. There is that. I did like seeing...
He now owns Miami.
I did like seeing the Beckhams in the stand yesterday, him and his sons and Victoria all there. Sir David Beckham, I love him.
He's iconic now.
Yeah. But that goal he scored after Pochettino took down Michael Owen in the box in 2002 in Japan, smashed the penalty home, and that scream when he's holding the England kit. Can it be the redemption in the knockout stage of the World Cup to finally knock Argentina out? And it's Bellingham and the boys.
Do you know historically? Because I looked it up this morning, so I know what the head-to-head is between England and Argentina.
Go on.
It's exactly the same. I think it's 6 wins each, 5 draws or something. So we are. That's how close the two teams are historically.
And you know, this is Messi's first time of facing England.
Yeah, see that.
Wow.
Well, you wouldn't expect that, would you?
No.
I remember when Maradona come to Wembley before '86, before he really hit the heights. He was young. I can't remember. He'd have been about 20, and he made a run at Wembley, which was just like incredible, and everyone just gasped at this young, phenomenon that he became. And God bless him, because obviously he's passed over now. But everybody would be thinking of Maradona, and he'd be a big part of that game on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, massively.
And we remember him for the hand of God, of course, but we also remember that the classical goal. And now we got Messi, World Cup winner himself,
the GOAT,
and what a lot of people would call the GOAT.
He is number one.
Yeah, I mean he's my number one, but
he's number one.
Not everybody's number one. There's like some my older generation.
No, but I'm saying,
would say Pele and
yeah, but I'm saying in this this whole Messi Ronaldo debate, it's done. It's Messi then Ronaldo.
No,
it is.
That's your opinion.
No, it's factual.
Everybody's opinion.
It's factual.
It's factual, is it?
Messi win the World Cup.
Okay, that's it then. Okay.
Right, it is now time to get all the latest from the England camp with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Now, another one of our colleagues doing an amazing job in the United States of America is the one and only England correspondent, Faye Carruthers. How are we, Faye?
I'm really good, Madge. Lovely to see you, Pards, as well. By the way, they do Vindaloo pre-match, and Jordan Pickford is always singing it. So he goes along with the na-na-nas, and the other... Vindaloo is in, and also before the game in Mexico again at the Azteca, he actually grabbed Kitman Pat, as we call him, grabbed his face and went England right in his face during Vindaloo. So do not worry, it's covered.
The Vindaloo is covered. Faye, I was listening to you last night, talking to the team afterwards. Great work. What's the mood in camp after that performance? Of course, a lot's being made with Thomas Tuchel's comments, and then obviously Jude Bellingham responding. The mood still seems uplifted, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the positive vibes, if you like, will continue. They'll have celebrated that on the plane back to Kansas. I'm still in Miami. I don't fly back to Kansas until later on this evening, but the team flew back after the match last night. They're having a recovery day today, so they'll be nice and chilled, have a bit of sleep, because they need to catch up on that. They missed a night's sleep after the Mexico game because they got back so late. Or early in the morning, as we all did. And you could kind of tell that in the performance, even though they had a few days off and then had been training ahead of this Norway game. You could really tell that the altitude, the emotion of the Azteca had got to them. And the heat and humidity, I don't think anybody's really talking enough about that. I was pitch side again yesterday, and it was absolutely sweltering. It was saying about 33, 34 degrees on the thermometer. It felt hotter than that. It was really sticky and humid, difficult conditions for players to play in at the best of times. But I think that's why we saw quite a slow game from both teams, really. It was just disappointing that England kind of matched Norway's pace, if you like, when Anthony Barry and Thomas Tuchel had wanted them to be taking the handbrake off. I just don't think yesterday's game was the game for them to have been able to do that, and I think that's maybe where the disconnect came from.
Yeah, that was the question that I was going to say, Faye, was because obviously when you're pitch side, even when you're in the stadium, it's not quite as hot as it is pitch side, is it? It seems to generate the surface and the way the stadium is constructed. It kind of just sits there. This real like massive heat. Can you kind of describe to us, just moving around, what it's like there?
Sweaty, very, very sweaty, unpleasant.
Because it makes you, as you say, it kind of gives you a cloudy head too, doesn't it? You can't think straight sometimes when it's like that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a really difficult one to explain. Actually, it's similar. Different effects to everybody. Altitude affects people differently. And in Mexico, when I first landed, I felt the effects of the altitude. I have done before when I've been in Ecuador, which is significantly above sea level. And it's almost like an out-of-body experience. This is slightly different in Miami. It smacks you in the face from the second you get out of the airport. It almost shrouds you the heat, especially pitch side, as you said. There's no breeze. Everywhere else, where the team were commentating from, they're a bit higher up. That there was a breeze going around. It was still absolutely boiling, but they had that little breeze coming in. You just don't get that pitch side. You had a little bit of it in the second half and in extra time, but still not very much. It maybe caught you every few minutes if you were lucky, but it was still really close and humid. And actually, Harry Kane said to me post-match that the conditions were harder. Elliot Anderson said the same.
Yeah,
conditions were harder than they were in Mexico.
You're right, that heat in Miami is so different. I remember I did a festival there years ago on the main stage in downtown Miami. You couldn't breathe when you was on the stage. I'm trying to rap, trying to get my voice back, and it's hard to get every breath in. But Faye, listen, I was listening to you last night. I was just loving your work, and just sometimes I watch what you're doing. I'm like, I'm so jealous. She's in the camp. She gets to know what's going on. So I want to ask you, because you've been in so many England camps now, what's different to this camp to ones before? Well, from the outside looking in, and we know Gareth did a great job with England, and he took them so far. With Thomas Tuchel, there just feels like there's this, and we saw it with his comments afterwards, this upholding of standards. That whole thing he come out with from the beginning of the mission is clear. It's to add another star to this shirt. And so if you ever feel like it's too much pressure, let's be open about it. And I just feel that's what I'm seeing with this. And this is why it seems like they can dig in a little bit deeper.
I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there, Madge. That's exactly what it is. Thomas Tuchel has set standards. The players have been setting those standards themselves, and it feels as if they just have one goal. It's not just, they keep talking about next step, but each time it is next step for the big goal. Yeah. And, you know, they've always had that ambition previously, but I think they're closer than they ever have been. We've already gone a step closer than 2022. And, you know, that was a gutting departure at the quarterfinal stage against France, because we actually played brilliantly in that game. We're at the same stage now as we were in 2018 when Gareth had that fantastic success, and it's going to be such a tough game against Argentina. But actually, mentality-wise, and Argentina haven't had a brilliant tournament, by the way. So they're not this kind of, you know, force similar to Brazil in many ways. They're not this force that we kind of, you know, expect of them, although they are world champions, obviously, and they do have Lionel Messi. So, you know, two major factors in why they're going to be difficult opponents. But I've said right from the beginning of this tournament that, and, you know, I may very well have been drinking the England Kool-Aid. I understand that. However, I have said right from the beginning that I feel like we're going to go all the way. The final different prospect, if we get there, against France or Spain, we know how tricky that is going to be. But the top four countries in the semi-finals, you know, it is testament to the progress that England have been on since Gareth Southgate, and now pushing on to a different level with Thomas Tuchel. And I feel like the players believe that they can do it. It's not just words. You know, Dan Burn talked to me about the words of the brotherhood. He said it's all well and good talking about this togetherness and this brotherhood, but you saw it at the Azteca. You witnessed it, so you have proof and evidence of the brotherhood rather than it just being words. And I definitely feel we saw that in the performance last night. They were not ready to go home. And I actually, and again, this sounds really bizarre, there wasn't one point during that game, even when we went behind, that I thought we weren't going through. No, and I had exactly the same feeling at the Azteca as well. I had exactly the same feeling against Congo. And, you know, usually my heart is going like this pitch side, and I'm, you know, very, very stressed. For some reason, I feel as calm as the players do in many ways, because I feel like they will always dig in and find a way, even if they don't put in their best performance.
Absolutely, Faye, great job. And listen, I tell you what, if we do go all the way, I'm sure that the Gallagher brothers will feel like they've played a massive part in it. Because I tell you what, the wonderful moment is what people are waiting for now to see after the game. Even my son, you know, he's 8-9 years of age, and he's like, I want to wait up for the Wonderwall moment. Can we win just for the Wonderwall moment? Yeah. That's become a real big thing now, hasn't it, Faye?
Do you know the most upsetting thing for me? They always do the Wonderwall moment exactly where I sit throughout the game. But FIFA make us go back into the flash zone in order to be ready to do the post-match interviews straight away. They make us go in before the final whistle. So every game I've missed it, even though it's literally would normally be happening right in front of me. So I think maybe if we beat Argentina in the semi-finals,
yeah,
I think maybe. Well, I tell you what, Pards, definitely maybe. I'm going to stay.
Yes, Faye. Love that. Faye, thank you so much. The wonderful Faye Carruthers there.
Cheers, Faye.
Our England correspondent. That was a look at all the latest in England camp.
But that is the word, isn't it? That word is the word that comes out the biggest. Like, it's maybe we could win it. Maybe.
Oh, pardon, I'm getting excited. That was a look at the latest in England camp with Enterprise Rent a Car. They are here for it.
On England's Corner on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent a Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
03717 223344 is the number to call. When Argentina did the old hand of God, 1986, they went on to win that tournament, right? They won that tournament. Yeah. I like what Jill said. Jill, our regular OG of the final word. Madge, they're saying the wire of God now for Bellingham's second goal. It could have been the wire of God. Yeah. Maybe it's meant to be.
It just comes straight down to Anderson's foot.
Maybe
it's like God went,
yeah,
there you go.
Maybe it is just meant to be. Give us a call, 03717 223344. Still to come, we'll have an update from Wimbledon and we'll hear from you guys on talkSPORT.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive. But every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
Yeah, that's Newcastle, though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions. I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah, you're Premier League champions now. You're Premier League champions now. Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play? Or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of, we've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. You know, to be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of. Then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You know, you need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone. Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, you know, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you know, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So I think it would be a good move for us to go in there and get him.
Not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Currently at number 11 Back in the UK top 40, this is
it?
Number 11. This will go to number 1 again.
We're just downloading and downloading now.
Everyone's streaming it, playing it. It's amazing. Records that just...
What a year they've had, the concerts and, and now there's football on the back of it. Incredible.
Well, apparently they're doing about 6 nights at Nebworth next year, aren't they?
And that's their old stomping ground, that when their famous concert.
They did, yeah, 95, 96 I think it was. And of course with Glastonbury returning next summer after a year of hiatus, the Sunday night at Glasgow, Oasis, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Come on. Mind you, I don't think they're easy to negotiate with, I wouldn't imagine.
No.
Because I don't think Glastonbury are good players. I think it's more about the...
being part of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, speaking of Oasis, their main guy, Haaland, Man City's man, didn't do anything yesterday, did he?
Well, we obviously had a lot of experience around him, particularly the Stones, who did well to shackle him. But I still am absolutely astonished that he got substituted.
That was so... I think at that moment it felt like Norway surrendered the game.
I don't know what the manager was thinking. He's bringing on a striker whose record is like average at best. He's taking off the world's, inform. I've got to be honest. If I'm not, I actually thought, I wonder if the manager's just had enough of the profile that Haaland has had and wanted to bring him down a bit. It crossed my mind. I think sometimes managers do get a little bit like, it's always him. It's always, what about the rest of the team? It's always him. It's always, the focus is always about Haaland.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, okay, tell you what, it's not all about him. I thought it was a little bit of that in that substitute.
It did feel like that. I don't
think he was injured.
No, he didn't look injured. But in fairness,
keep him on. You just keep him on. Have 2 strikers on the pitch, and if
go for
balls are him, he's going to score, isn't he?
I felt like I said they stopped crossing the ball into the box after that. They were trying to go direct with their feet. In fairness to Haaland, though, he stayed right until the end. He was the last player to leave. We're having photos with everyone.
He was good, wasn't he? He was good with our boys. Obviously, he come out with some lovely quotes that his first shirt ever was an England shirt.
Yeah.
When he, which was great. But we're looking at the tennis here because we've got the men's tennis final. I'm sure we're getting a report later.
It's like
the first and second, right? The first and second have met because obviously it's segregated, right? You have the best player and the second best. So one starts at the top, and one starts at the bottom, and they come together for the final. Well, the World Cup's done exactly the same with the top 4.
Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it? But like you said, before we go back to the phone lines, let's head off to Wimbledon for the latest of the men's single final from talkSPORT's Lisa O'Sullivan.
There we go.
Got a bit of a buzz and a little bit of a mutter around centre court because in game 8 we saw our first breakpoint opportunity. Sasha Zverev saving it, but Yannick Sinner looking awfully dangerous. Zverev has been banging down serves well over 135 miles an hour. When he was playing Arthur Ferry the other day, he actually hit a couple of second serves over 125 miles an hour, which was more than Arthur Ferry's first serve. It is a very powerful game. It's a bit of chess on the centre court at the moment. Going with serve, Yannick Sinner leading 5-4.
Thank you very much, Lisa. We'll keep you updated throughout the show there.
Can I just say something to you about tennis? Now I was saying to you I was a tennis player.
Yeah.
Right? So I was on this promotional thing once when I was a footballer with Annabelle Croft. And they had the speed thing for your serve.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, hey, here we go.
Come on,
120. I must be 120. About 93, I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get
over the one.
And I was like fit and good then. And so he's serving 135.
Insane.
It's like so much power. He's incredible.
Hit with that ball. Right. We asked for your phone calls, and as always, you didn't let us down. So time now to hear some of your shared takes with Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Well, it's only taken us about an hour to get to you guys, but we are here, thankfully. Let's go to Dan, who's a Chelsea fan. He joins us on the final word. Hello, Dan.
Hello, boys. Thanks for having me on. First time caller, so appreciate you hearing my 2 pence worth for what it's worth.
We appreciate you and thank you for holding on so long as well. What did you want to say, Dan?
Yeah, look, so the long and short of it is I kind of agree with Tuchel's comments, and 2 quick points from that. Look, the performance versus Norway, it was good enough for a draw in 90 minutes. We're talking later stages of a major sporting event, so I'd agree that, the performance, it certainly wasn't bad. We got through, but it wasn't good enough to beat France or Spain in a final or Argentina in the next round. So, I'd say it wasn't good enough, and therefore he's got every right to voice what he has. And my second kind of point leads on from that with Bellingham having his right to express it. I actually played cricket for England many moons ago, and I went out to Dubai and played against Pakistan. And in that time, the heat, I can tell you, was horrendous. But for us, even scraping a win, you knew that you had to kind of like up your game if you're going to win the next game. And the further you go into a tournament, the harder it's going to get. You can't rest on your laurels with that. And you know, that's exactly what the coaches are there to do. They're there to be your friends, to put their arms around you, but they're there also to be your critic and to push you to levels you didn't know you could achieve. So, you know, I think Tuchel was well within his rights. And for me, it's a bit of a sliding doors moment, because if he'd not said anything after the game in that interview, you know, players potentially could have thought, oh, we've got through, we're doing all right here. And then if they get knocked out in the next round or lose the final, and all of a sudden the realisation hits that football isn't coming home, we all go, why didn't Tuchel do more? Why didn't he intervene more at those earlier opportunities? And I think that's just the high standard he sets for himself, for the country. And I think he was right to do it. And it was great to hear Bellingham. Obviously, he will know, like Bellingham will know, along with the rest of the England squad, that they need to do more to get through the semi-final against Argentina. They'll know that without his comments. So hopefully, the timing of it, the way it was delivered, probably I was actually quite surprised that the reporter kind of like angled it the way he did. And as that reporter was going, I was a bit like, oh, please don't say Tuchel's just said this in a very kind of slight.
Yeah, it all got a bit.
Like
Gabriel got a little bit kind of caught up in it. But I want to come back to just something, Dan, and that is about what Thomas could have lent on. He could have lent on after the game, just lent on the spirit and the collectiveness of the group, and not really mentioned tactically or how we played. He could have just left that for the dressing room. That was one option that he could have done. He decided to do.
Bellingham was back up, didn't it? Really?
Yeah. But the option he gained, I think, was partly driven by the emotion that he's in straight after a game. And also for the frustration, because it was some frustrating parts of that game, Dan, wasn't there? We was all kind of suffering, you know, particularly with our wide players. Well, we want a little bit more, want some more cohesion. But I think I don't think this is a bad thing. And I want to come on to another point that you said about tournament play. You're right. When you come up against the better teams, you do turn up your game. And I think the Argentina game will be a completely different game. It's in a stadium where we think it'll be air controlled. The temperature will be better for both teams. We'll get a better spectacle and a better game, I think, and I'm really looking forward to it. But good points, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. That was one of our great callers on 03717 223344. And remember, if you've got a shared take of your own, you can voice note to us or simply give us a call on that number.
Dan played cricket for England, did he say that? Did he play cricket, didn't he? Was it for England?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, wow.
03717 223344.
He got his second name.
Yeah, well, let's find out. We'll get the
stats on him. We'll get Ted on him. Although Ted's got hangover, he'll probably look in the hockey section.
He's had a good night. Yeah. That's all thanks to Burger King.
Shared takes on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
So during the World Cup, we normally have a third with us, third member of the team, of the Super Sunday squad, which is Kev Hatchard.
Kev's
back tonight. 8 o'clock, the return of the Trans-Europe. He'll be missing us, yeah.
Because it's nice to go to him, isn't it? Because he
knows a lot.
He literally, you can just throw any player him, and he goes,
oh, you tell us about the Paraguay
he used to play for Lens, and then he moved to Stuttgart, and
yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he? Yeah. So 8 o'clock is all about the Trans-Europe Express. But coming up after us from 7, you can
How
hear...
are we, chaps? Well?
Oh, we've got Kev. Kev is there. Hello, Kev.
How are we, chaps? Well?
Oh, they've done me in the studio. Clever. I thought Kev was with us. So you can always...
How are we, chaps? Well?
We are well, Kev. Thanks for asking. 8 o'clock, Kev will be on. And coming up after us from 7, you can...
Is that an IT sort of voiceover?
Yeah. It's just a sample.
Sample.
How are you, Kev?
Well?
He's well. All right, coming up after us.
You got the other answers, is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Coming up from after us at 7, you can hear from the World Cup Daily with Adrian Durham, England legend Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot. But for now, keep those calls coming into us, 03717 223344, and we'll hear from you soon on the final one of talkSPORT. We're in the semi-final of the World Cup.
How are we, chaps? Well?
Because Infantino, though, Simon, has said, yes, I got a call from Trump on Balogun.
Yeah.
They have allowed themselves to be boxed into a ridiculous corner, haven't they?
Well, it's one thing players cheating on a field, but when the people that are supposed to uphold the game ignore the integrity of their own positions, to damage the authenticity of what people might be watching, and challenge the legitimacy of it by allowing one set of group of people to have an advantage and not on others, you should start worrying about the existential threat that has to the game, and start worrying about what's happening to the football and where it's going next, and what will happen to it next.
Because if the Balogun situation did exist, and we never heard of a call going in from Trump to Infantino, the Kwanzaa 2-match ban
would be less controversial.
Would be much less controversial. It would almost come and go.
But again, we've got to distill it backwards, I think. If you sit there and you say, why is there no process available to rescind a red card? Why would there not be one? What is the logical thinking? Maybe FIFA can explain to us why it was necessary for the Trump regime to instigate some thinking into FIFA that should have been there in the first place. It shouldn't require Trump to be involved in the conversation. It should have been a simple appeal from, and by the way, US Soccer would have been all over this. It wasn't just Trump that did it. It was US Soccer that probably prompted him to do it. And they're sort of going in the background. It's not us, it's our commander-in-chief. No, Trump makes all the noise and carries all the cachet. But there should have been a process.
There's no regularity to this, Simon. Ironically, if you get sent off for in the Premier League for serious foul play, it's a 3-match ban.
But that's because you've got a 38-game season. This is a limited window.
Right.
So people are always going to condense it down based upon the size of the tournament.
Right.
But even more so in a limited window tournament, you should want an appeal process to be able to rescind in the same way that it can award upwards.
Yes.
It makes no sense.
In the history of football, there may never have been a better player than Edson Arantes do Nascimento. This guy, the most decorated player in World Cup history. Imagine being 17 and playing at a World Cup. Well, not only did Pelé achieve that, he was probably Brazil's best player in 1958, even with a baby face like this. He scored 6 goals in their run to what would be Brazil's first World Cup triumph. Pelé was the talk of world football and was swamped everywhere he went. He was expected to be the main character in Chile 1962 as well, but in just the second group stage game he tore his calf and that was his World Cup done. As you can see, Brazil still won it all. 4 years of recovery and rediscovering his magic form in front of goal led to 1966, another tournament that for him wouldn't go to plan. Pelé was targeted by Bulgaria and Portugal in the groups, and after being kicked all over the park by the Portuguese, he eventually had to be carried off the field at Goodison. And that was it. Brazil were knocked out at the group stage for the first and only time. He vowed never to play in a World Cup again, such was his fury at Portugal's antics on Merseyside. But he came back for 1970, where we saw maybe the greatest team in World Cup history. It's actually pretty unanimous. Some say that team brought about the term beautiful game, or jogo bonito in Brazil's native tongue. That team blitzed the competition in Mexico, and it all led to this. Across his career, he scored so many goals, he's even recognised by Guinness as the world record holder. I mean, just look at that. 1,283. Madness. Thanks, Ronnie, we know. At the World Cup, he bagged 12 in 14 games. I mean, talk about a strike rate. Around the world, we all debate our country's greatest player. In Brazil, they debate who's second, behind the only man to have won 3 World Cups, a man who they call O Rei, the king.
Hi guys, you well? Welcome to the Final Word Pony with me, Majestic, alongside legendary football gaffer, Alan Pardew. And we are walking in a Tuchel and Jude wonderland today as England are into the semi-finals to face Argentina live on talkSPORT on Wednesday evening. But many people were not happy with the performance, so we want to know what your views are. Call us right now on 03717 22 3344. It is a Sunday part, so later on the show we'll be talking about Spurs and going through some transfer rumours.
Well, Arsenal fans will be delighted.
But right now, it's about your England calls. So pick up the phone, 03717 22 3344, to air your views to the nation on the Final Word phone-in on talkSPORT. You love the American music, didn't you? Live from the News UK building in London.
What about the Rolling Stones? We get launching a new album this week. Did you see that?
I saw that. And I saw Mick Jagger in the crowd yesterday.
Yeah, Mick was in the crowd.
He loves it, didn't he?
I had an interview on Virgin Radio, I think it was, with the boys. Still sounding good. Still amazing, their ages. Amazing. Yeah. Still banging out the song. He's talking about going on tour again. He's 84, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, speaking of legends, last week I went to see Metallica.
No.
I went to see Metallica last weekend at the London Stadium.
Were people doing the head banging?
Oh, there was a lot of head banging going. Yeah. It was Metallica and they were supported by Pantera.
I'll take it they're a rock and roll band.
A very heavy band, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Metallica.
Did you enjoy it? I suppose you enjoy all types of music.
Yeah, but how good Metallica were last weekend. Unbelievable. They're in their 60s.
Yeah.
62, James Hetfield is. And remember the Thin Lizzy record, Whiskey in a Jar?
But didn't they, maybe, well, no, perhaps I shouldn't say that. But, I mean, they've taken, I'm guessing, some substances over the years as well. It's amazing.
Well, rock and rollers.
Yeah, rock and rollers. So yeah, they've done well. Maybe them substances have been okay.
Yeah, Metallica, they do a cover of Whiskey in a Jar.
I like that song.
Oh, their version's great.
Is it?
And when it come on, it was.
Can we get a spin of it?
Yeah, we'll try and get. Let's get Metallica's version of Whiskey in a Jar on at some point in the show. And yeah, they would.
It'd be nice to have whiskey in a jar because they were celebrating England's win.
Yeah.
I mean, this morning, let me tell you, right, as an early riser, I have never seen my particular area. It was like
Ghost Town.
Some sort of war had set up.
28 days later.
Yeah, it was like, where is everybody? All there was just me and some vampires hanging about.
Well, at least it's a bit earlier on Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
So the kids can hopefully, get them into bed by 11 after they've done the Wonderwall thing.
I was saying to my son this morning, because my son was born in 2017.
2017, okay.
He's had 2 World Cup semi-finals in his lifetime. A quarterfinals and a final of a Euros.
Yeah.
2 finals of a Euros.
Yeah.
I said, this isn't what England was for me growing up, mate. I said, World Cup 94, we weren't even in.
The good news about that, though, when you look back at teams that have been successful in World Cups, they do have this period of near misses. That's a kind of, that is a trait. So maybe we've had our near misses and this is the one.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We are hoping. Speaking of, because we'll be talking about Tottenham later on.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, there's been a lot of transfer
activity
and money being spent.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'll be investing more money into the Tottenham Hotspur Fund because System of a Down and Queens of the Stone Age are playing together at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Is that?
Oh yeah, Alice is there as well.
Is that big news?
That is big news.
Big, why? What do they sing?
That is like Messi and Ronaldo being together.
Tell me him again. Say the bands again.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Never heard of them.
We'll play you No One Knows during the show.
Right.
And System of a Down.
Never heard of them.
Unbelievable. Listen, 2 great
I can't
bands.
wait for it.
I can't wait. And
what do they sell those tickets for out of interest?
I'm not too sure.
50 quid?
Because I haven't acquired a box for the evening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you paid for it or?
I shan't disclose.
Okay.
But I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. And of course.
And what night's that?
Tomorrow night.
Tuesday night. Monday night, beg your
But again, as I say, it's a very busy stadium, that stadium. And that is what we're going to be talking about later on as we talk about Spurs. Okay. So speaking of Spurs, let's go straight to GJ because he's a Spurs fan. He joins us. How are you, GJ?
Boys, you good?
Mate, isn't it nice on a Sunday to talk positively about what Spurs are doing in the transfer window? Look at England in the semi-final of a World Cup and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium's earning loads of money tomorrow.
Yeah, winner, chicken dinner. I've just been recovering all day because I stayed up for the Argentina game as well. And, I think I went to sleep at 6 a.m.
I also did that. I watched the game. Oh, that goal for Argentina to win it. How good was that?
Alvarez.
Oh, Alvarez, yeah. I mean, I was a bit annoyed because, like, Messi's obviously like a GOAT, but the way Argentina have been playing in this tournament was like it was all him. And now, like, it looks like the other supporting cast are waking up because Lautaro Martinez scored as well. And like you said, Alvarez scored an absolute worldie. So, so they're all going to have their tails up. But yeah, before I talk about the England, I just want to highlight Gabriel Clark. He's an absolute disgrace. He is. He completely misread Tuchel's comments about the team playing badly, and then he took that comment and ran with it to a tired and emotional Bellingham. And this is just typical of our media. We destroy our heroes like Gaza, Rooney, and now Jude. And I see, right? I mean, I see journalists online, they're defending Clark, saying, he's a journalist, not a cheerleader. Well, I tell you what, boys, give me a cheerleader. Give me a cheerleader because, everyone now we should be all on the same page, all positivity, no negativity. This is the joint second biggest match in our football history. And if we lose, I'll tell you what the narrative will be. They're going to dig out Jude Bellingham saying, he caused bad blood, and they're going to make a narrative about that.
That's possibly true. I'm with you, GJ, on that. I mean, it was unfortunate, but you're right. He used it again with Bellingham after, which he perhaps shouldn't have done, as sort of say, have you heard what the manager said, to sort of throw him a curveball, of which he responded to. You're spot on. But that's probably what if Gabriel was sitting here now, he'd probably say, well, that's my job. That's what I'm paid to do. So that's where he'll probably be sitting. Yeah.
I hear that, but like I was saying, like everyone was buzzing last night. I mean, the drinks were flowing, the emotions were like soaring high, and then you just have this negative stain on it, and you're thinking, Gabriel, just go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's enjoy it. Yeah, I take your point. Yeah, let's enjoy it. Yeah.
But back to the game. I mean, England-Argentina, I wanted this game because, the history of the game. You rightfully brought up the hand of God. By the way, no one ever talks about Maradona's second goal. That should have been disallowed as well.
Yeah, there was a foul, wasn't there, before he got possession? Someone got sived. Was it Peter Reid or Ray Wilkins? I can't remember.
It was our very own Glenn Hoddle, Madge. He got chopped down, right? And if you see the tackle, by our standards today, it's probably a red. It was definitely a yellow at the time. And then Maradona goes on that solo run. But like Messi's my second favourite player ever. I don't.
Your first, of course, was Stefan Freund.
My first is Romario. I love that. Yeah, it's just not 1994 World Cup. Like you said, we weren't even there, but Romario was just like a footballing gangster.
Footballing gangster. I've never heard that before.
I love that.
He was a killer in the penalty area. But I just want to see us. I just want to see our plans for Messi. Stop him, and he's coming home, boys.
There's GJ. He's definitely on the old positive front there. Which is good. That's what we want.
Be good. You know what it is? It's like we said, we're in the semi-final of a World Cup, yeah? And sometimes in life, you've got to win ugly. And however, you win at all costs. Sometimes, because like you said, the conditions, whatever, it's no different to boxing. In a boxing fight, you might have 10 rounds where you're getting absolutely battered. But as long as you've got that right hand at the end and you're heavyweight, for example.
The Rumble in the Jungle was like terrible, terrible heat, wasn't it? But the one thing that
as long as you can knock them out at the end.
I always go back to 1974. I fell in love with Holland and Johan Cruyff and that team, and they got to the final. And as a young person, I was just like, "Oh, Holland are going to win. They're the greatest team. They play such beautiful football." And then, of course, who beat them? The super efficient
Germans. Industrial Germans.
Correct, right? And that's what we look a little bit like.
And where's Thomas Tuchel from?
Germany. So maybe this industrial approach, even though Thomas doesn't like it particularly, might be what gets us over the line. Who knows?
Let's hope so. Right.
I think we'll take an ugly win.
100%. Let's see how the men's single final is progressing at Wimbledon. From
talkSPORT's
Lisa O'Sullivan.
Well, Yannick Sinner is going to be regretting not taking the one breakpoint opportunity from the first set, because Alexander Zverev has come through the tiebreak 9 points to 7, an absolute sizzler, and things really heating up here on centre court now. It is 1 set to Alexander Zverev. It looks like we could be going definitely deeper into the evening, Madge.
Oh, thank you very much, Lisa. We're deep into evening's football now.
It's normal staying up till 2. It's just like the normal now, isn't it?
It's just standard.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Let's open a bottle of wine at 1:30.
Do you know what it is? I just got more friends late at night now. Normally it's just me on my own up. Now I can
Oh, you got people there?
Yeah, so hey, are you up watching the tennis? Yeah. 03717 223344 is the number to call. It's talkSPORT with Magic Parts.
We all expected, okay, we need to beat Croatia by 3 goals. We need to go and beat Ghana by 3, and then we should beat Panama by 5. We should beat Congo by 5. What's it like in a tournament? It's not always the case, is it?
No, definitely not. You know, it's funny when I see, the betting, things, before the game, and I'm thinking this is not what we expect, on the pitch. I know that England are favorite against Norway, but when you look at Norway, they look really strong, as a unit, as a team. Of course, they have weakness, but England must be aware that if they don't get the position of the ball in this game, and this is where I agree with Troy Deeney, for example. I think with the player they have, England, they should be more confident with the ball. They should show more commitment with the ball, and composure as well. And this is where, something is missing.
Yeah. Well, we shall see if we can show that. I mean, if you look, on paper.
I'm just sorry to disturb you, Jeff, but for this game, England against Norway, I'm just wondering, if Norway get the ball, is it what England wants into this game? Waiting, sit back, trying to play in counter-attack, or try to get the ball, the position of the ball, and try to conduct and manage, this game. So this is, for me, one of the key of this game. Yeah. Are you going to react with the ball and without the ball?
I mean, it's interesting because Norway had a lot more possession of the ball against Brazil than most people would imagine they would do.
Although the tactics from Ancelotti, though, did he say leave them with it?
Yeah.
I don't think we should do that. I think we should go after them. I really do.
Yeah, pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text from Ryan. He said, Bellingham's been very good, but I think Arsenal's Morgan Rogers should get a chance in the next game. Ryan, dream on.
130 million, please.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes is going there.
Cash.
I just don't see Rogers going there as well.
This is Metallica.
No. Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh.
You recognise it yet?
No.
I'll give you some vocal. Ready?
I thought he was going to sing.
No.
Never heard of it.
Never heard this song.
No, didn't get in the pop charts, does it? Come on.
I think this did get into the pop charts.
Number 30 or something.
No, I'm going to find Queens of the Stone Age. No one.
Never made top 10 this.
No, this was a big one.
I'm almost a historian of the top 10 pop charts.
Are you?
Kylie and Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet.
Okay, so the peak position for this song in
26
in the UK charts, number 15.
Yeah, that's where I'd expect it to go.
And do you know who's drumming on this track?
Roger Moon.
Dave Grohl.
Oh, he's good, him. I like him. Yeah, I've seen him interviewed on a few times.
Great record, this. Look, ready for the drum part in this part? We'll turn this up. We've got to enjoy the drum part in this part. Ready?
He's coming.
Really? Then which is part, really?
Well, it just got a bit louder.
Those fills are insane. Anyway, it's not Virgin Radio. It is talkSPORT with Madge and Pards. It is Sunday. I'm getting myself excited for Queens of the Stone Age and System of a Down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow. The reason why I'm talking about that is because it all links into what we'll be talking about soon, which is Spurs.
The demographic of that audience will be what?
All sorts of people.
Well, not 18-year-olds ain't going to be there.
No, there'll be 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a mixture.
It'll be a mixture. You know, the thing about good music, as you know yourself, it transcends generations. You know?
Yeah.
Look at the Michael.
But you do kind of, if you go to a Kylie concert, you get a certain demographic, don't you? Take that, for example.
There'll be a larger percentage of one demographic, of course.
Mm.
Yeah, dads with their kids.
Take that.
You like me to take that?
Well, I got dragged to it by, the family.
What, the recent tour?
The recent one.
Circus?
The circus. And the
good
dad,
show.
The dad dancing. Mate, come on. I mean, obviously I'm a bit of a connoisseur of the dance moves, right? And I was embarrassed for some of them. I mean, they're poor. I don't know why they just don't bang the songs out. Why are they doing the routines, the three of them dancing in sequence? I mean, it's come on, they're 45-year-old men.
I think they're older than 45.
Are they?
Yeah, they got to be.
50 odd.
Oh, we'll double
They're
check
like
it.
doing sequences together.
Yeah.
It's like me and you doing a sequence. It
would look great.
Yeah, well, we probably would look all right, yeah.
Gary's 55.
55. Well,
but listen,
my advice, for what it's worth, obviously I'm a football person, is bang the songs out, put a bit of enthusiasm in it, no more sequence dancing.
Dancing's done for you.
And if you're going to dance on your own, dance with the other two
You
fellas.
reckon just get the stalls out, sit down and
Yeah, just bang the tunes out.
Finger click.
Yeah, do an acoustic version.
Howard's 58.
Yeah.
Good DJ, Howard.
Yeah, I think I've seen him on TikTok or something, spinning some plates.
I'll tell you one thing I'll give the take that, lads. Lovely, lovely people.
Very good.
I've had the pleasure of working with them. I've actually been on stage with Gary Barlow having a sing-song.
I'm not criticising them. I'm just saying it's my own personal feeling. I don't like. But that doesn't mean to say you can do it now. I mean, when I look at Mick Jagger, for example, he's still dancing like he was in 1963 or whenever, but he still looks good doing it. I don't know how he's managed to do that.
Because it never looked good. So then, therefore, it still looks...
It still looks daft.
Mick Jagger's moves are so iconic. There was a song named after
him.
Moves
exactly.
Like Jagger.
Which is a good song.
Right, let's go over to Bill, who joins us on the show. Good evening,
Sorry, Bill. We're hanging about here.
Yeah, Bill, we're talking about Take That. We should talk about football. How are you, mate?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm in Wiltshire.
Oh, you're in Wiltshire? Oh, nice. How is that part of the world this evening?
Very, very warm.
Yeah, it's warm, isn't it? Probably not as warm as it was in Miami last night, though, for England.
No. I mean, that's what I phoned up. I phoned up a while back and said, basically, I think, obviously, we now know the temperature and everything like that, and it wasn't a great performance, but it was a win. And that's, like they say, you win dirty, don't you, whatever. A win's a win.
Correct.
But my point of view is, Tuchel's been hired to get us further than what Southgate did.
Correct.
And to get us further, I think it's his job to make them guys play. Because some of them didn't play to the best of their ability, to be honest. And I think maybe the temperature had a bit of it. But at the end of the day, this is the semi-final of the World Cup, and I think Tuchel has got to earn his money.
Yeah.
This next match, personally.
Well, you're absolutely right, Bill, because I've said...
Bill's put it on him.
No, but I've said from the start as well, especially having a German manager for the England national team, yeah, at the end of the day is he has to win the competition for me. Unless
give him a bumper new contract for next.
I know, but for me, I'm just like, no, he has to win the competition. And you know what? What I've seen from him so far, he knows that. He speaks of it. I've really... my dad's not feeling him as much, but I've actually really liked what Thomas Tuchel's been talking. I like how he speaks to the players. I like that he doesn't shy away from what's expected of this group of players. You know, that whole thing about we know what the mission is. The mission is clear. It's another star on the shirt. You know, let's not sort of, maybe we can. You know, like, let's see how we get on. You know, when people ask about title races and people go, I wouldn't say we're in a title race. When someone goes, yeah, we're in a title race, we want to win. We want to win. Like, I like that. And I think when you've got people like Jude Bellingham, when you've got people like Harry Kane now, who couldn't gone to Bayern Munich and become a winner, right? And, you know, even the likes of John Stones in there, people who have done it.
And Henderson.
Yeah, exactly. And even people like Morgan Rogers now, constant people that they won with Villa. There's a lot of winners in that team now.
There is. But you're right. The manager is setting the tone of we must do better. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
That's the coach's job to push.
That's
got to push.
That is life.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with my 9-year-old son about football the other day in terms of, I will tell you when you play well, because he played really well the other night and his trainer said, you've done really well. And then if you don't play as well and you ask me how you're getting, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, you've done really well.
No. But the other thing is also, like when you're setting goals, you should set goals that are like way beyond where you possibly could get. Otherwise, you never, because if you aim for the stars, you might get to the moon. Yeah. You ain't getting to the moon if you aim for the moon, if that makes sense.
Correct.
So you got to keep pushing. You've got to set your goals really, really high and then try to achieve them. And whatever you do, you'd have been done very, very well to even get close to them.
I just think.
But another star would be nice on the jersey because I don't like that one star. It actually irritates me.
Yeah.
Because, when you look at the...
It almost feels like, is it there or not? Is it supposed to be there?
Is that like an emblem? Is that
is that part of the design?
Is that the Umbro logo?
I like the 5.
No, it's
I like the 5 on Brazil. That looks good.
That looks good. Yeah, that's the one we want.
But I tell you what, like I said, Thomas Tuchel, and it was great to hear from Faye Carruthers, our England correspondent, who, of course, has been there around them. And hearing that demand of standards from Thomas Tuchel is why the man's a winner. And it's why he left Chelsea in the way that he did. He demands a certain thing. And you know what? That is all the best people in the world who do well at whatever their, chosen subject is. They demand standards from themselves as well as everyone around them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right setting standards and everything else, but you've got to have the managerial ability to coax the group to go for the goals, if that makes sense. No good. Like, you could set goals for a team and then not offer them anything. You've got to be able to cajole them and win their trust and win their ability. And that's why this thing about Bellingham and Tuchel, the press will make a big thing about it because they're thinking they're on a different hymn sheet. They're not. No. It just got lost in translation. That's what happened there.
Absolutely. And
if you haven't seen that film, it's a very good film.
Sean Dyche was on before us before.
We love Sean.
Yeah, and Sean has already said as well, he goes, what the press are trying to do with this little narrative is unhelpful. We don't need it going into that semi-final. We need a united front amongst us as fans, them as players. And you know what? And we had it, I think it was the last World Cup and it was the end of Gareth's tenure where it really did feel like it was us against them. I'm fully on...
Do you know what? It really worries me about this little thing about the end of the game is Bellingham. Not so much Thomas. And the reason I'm saying that is because at the last tournament, remember, Bellingham started to carry it a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
He thought that the people were having a go at him, that the team weren't playing well because of him. And he's in such a great place that I don't want to... I just hope it doesn't kind of knock him off kilt a little bit because he really is our man.
Yeah, I really believe that...
He's our James Bond.
There's enough within that group leaders, including people like Henderson, who have
to make sense
been criticised, but to make sense of it. Yeah. And, this bromance I've seen between Harry and Jude...
Yeah, it's nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
And seeing them at the end together... And, in fairness to Declan, who's not performed to his standards in this World Cup, he's been overplayed in terms of Arsenal and everything. There's this picture of Jude and Harry with the arms out, Declan in the background. I'm like, this England team can go and win a World Cup.
There was a report, I think it was from Bertie in the Telegraph, about that they had a little kind of get-together in Madrid. Harry... Bellingham.
Do you know what?
Tuchel.
I want to hear more about that after the short pause. Coming up next, we're going to go across to the USA to speak to Natalie Sawyer as we look ahead to the sensational semi-final as France takes on Spain. It's the final word on talkSPORT.
Are France that good, or have they been tested yet?
I think probably a little bit of both. I think they are that good. I think they are, because they showed second half what they can do in tight spaces and everything. But I think there needs to be a moment where they will inevitably come up, probably against Spain, hopefully against England, where with their teams, that more danger lies ahead. But they kind of, I think it was quite simple for France.
Mate, they're coasting to the semi-final of the World Cup.
Yeah. Well, they're a good side though. They're a good side. They've got the best player in the world.
Do you know what I like about France? And it's a bit of a throwback. The forwards, when they get the ball, you see a lot of players, number 10s or midfielders, they'll get it and they'll pass it out wide and they'll come back and they'll go out the other side and then you might try and get to the byline. When France win the ball, they stick it into the front three or front four and they run at you like through the middle of the park. And they just drive with the ball, a bit like what Gaza used to do. And then the game just opens up. And you're looking at it going, as a defender, I'm watching the Moroccans, they're going, how do you defend that? Well, you've got 3 people running off the ball, and then you've got the player with the ball running at you, straight at you. The second goal they score is just like them just going, well I'm just going to run through you.
Well, it was 2-0.
Hard to defend again.
It could have been 4 if Mbappe scores that. JP had a chance at the end there, and brilliant, gets on his left foot and then scuffs his shot. And in the end, it was comfortable for France. They really didn't break a sweat. I don't remember their keeper having anything to do at all. There might have been a couple of crosses. I don't remember it. But, yeah, they're that good, mate. And I think they've got a little bit of a fear factor about them because everyone knows how good they are going forward. You cannot allow their 2 wide men to run it at full-back 1v1. You can't allow Elise to get on the turn. Even in tight areas, he'll let the ball run across him and he'll turn, he'll flick, and he'll play balls in. And you've got Mbappe, the best player in the world, up top.
So, with the semi-finals just a few days away, it's time now to slide into game day with Burger King.
Sliding into game day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app.
Now let's round up the World Cup action by looking at some of the main talking points. So to help us do that, I'm delighted to bring in a member of the Final World family, all the way from the USA, Natalie Sawyer. How are we, Nat?
Oh, hello. Yes.
Sorry. We are in a very busy Fort Worth, which is about 30-odd miles away from Dallas. And I'm so sorry to say that you just missed their very own version of Madge and Pards. These amazing longhorn cattle, very handsome longhorn cattle, just did a wonderful parade down this street here, because this was once the scene of a very famous livestock market. They started back in 1866. No longer that, of course, but they do it for historical reasons, and fans come along. And it was wonderful, but you missed it. I can't believe it. We were all geared up for you to watch it live, and unfortunately you've missed it. But we're all good, and we're very happy here in Texas.
The atmosphere looks good there. Let's talk about the atmosphere in the USA in general over the World Cup now. Have the locals taken to it?
Do you know what? I would say they have. Even just yesterday, we came back from watching England in a sports bar, and that sports bar was rammed. I mean, queuing to get into it took quite a while. And then we were sat in the hotel bar watching the Argentina game, and we were sat with some Americans who were absolutely absorbed and loving it. And actually, going back to that sports bar that I mentioned, one of the staff we were talking to, and she was like, I was never really into soccer, of course, as they say. But she says, now I'm hooked. I absolutely love it. So I would say very much so they've taken to it, and why wouldn't they? Because everything that football fans have brought to this tournament has been exceptional.
Nat, it's Pards. I'm loving the sunglasses. You look good out there. Yeah, doing your thing. Look, I see Poch. Obviously, the United States are out, right? But it seems to me, what I'm reading this side of the waters, that it's been well received what he's done there, and the USA want to keep him on. So that'd be an interesting call by him, because obviously he's got the choice there. It sounds like he's got a contract in front of him. I'm guessing if the public are with him, he might stay. What do you think?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And for what you look at what they've done at this World Cup, they might have overachieved. I think they were overhyped a little bit as a team, actually, because when you look at what happened in that Belgium game with Balogun playing, and we won't get into the theory on that and whether that should have happened or not, they were really, they were so underwhelming, weren't they, the US? It's a hard one, isn't it, with Pochettino? I think you've got a great life out here. I'm sure he's enjoying it, but that day-to-day management, I'm sure he misses that. The problem is, what big jobs are out there at this present moment? I'm not sure there are that many left for him. So, in some ways, I think the US are very happy with him, because
there's always a vacancy at Spurs. You know that. There'll be another 17 defeats coming somewhere along.
Right, leave it. Listen, we're
steady.
We're Project De Zerbi at the moment, mate.
I was about to say, De Zerbi's doing, look at what you've done in the market already this summer. I think they're really backing him. So at this present moment, it's all about De Zerbi. But you're right, Pochettino could wait in the wings to see if it all falls apart.
Let's talk about some standout moments over there for you personally, Nat. What's been it for you? What's been that moment that you're going to take home with you?
Oh, gosh, do you know, it's been so many, because we've just had a blast. We have obviously been working really hard, but you can't help but feel like it's just been a joy to be out here for as long as we have. Going to the Azteca, watching Mexico against Ecuador, of course, is going to live long in the memory, because what an iconic stadium that is. But I have to say, being at Argentina, Egypt, and at Atlanta for the game, for the drama, I mean, that was just absolutely brilliant. And also, actually, having said that, having seen France as often as we've seen France live, they are just awesome to watch. I'm really getting into the American lingo there, aren't I?
Yeah, awesome.
I just think, it's just awesome. It's been awesome. So I just think in general we've been blessed with some of the games that we've been able to witness live.
Let's talk about that Spain-France game Tuesday live at talkSPORT. Of course, you're hosting that. You said you've seen France. We've been talking about, I said France were my favourites at the start of the tournament. They look like the most fluid team at the World Cup. What do you make of that game going into it? And does Spain stand a chance?
Oh, well, of course you can never say never. I mean, the issue I have is that I just don't know who can stop France. Even when you think, do you know what? Like first half against Senegal, not particularly great. But yet they're still able to go up a gear and find a way of winning. And that's what they've been able to do in games where you just thought they haven't looked their polished best. But my goodness, when they're on it, as we all know, they are just actually a joy to watch. And, you know, you talk about the fluidity of the team. It really is that. The fact that you've got Elise can interchange with Dembele, they can swap sides. And you, in some ways, I think for a defender, you must be like, oh my goodness, who am I tracking now? Because they can just do so many different things. And then you've got Doué or Barcola on the left. You can just change it and it doesn't impact them in any way. You know, the attacking force that they have is just such, well, you know, second to none. They are just incredible. I think everyone can just be in awe and just jealous of what Didier Deschamps has with that France squad. So I really can't see Spain doing anything, although of course I know they beat them not that long ago in the Nations League. That being said, I just well, this is it, but I just think looking at France right now and having not seen Spain that much, I just can't.
Well, let me tell you that, right?
But I haven't seen Spain as much.
Let me tell you about Spain.
Go on.
Their back four is probably the best back four is suited for France, if you know what I mean, because their back four is quick and agile. They're not big guys, but they are quick, and they got a great defensive record, a great goalkeeper. So I think that's going to be an intriguing battle if Spain can keep them quiet. I think if there's one team that can, it will be them.
Well, do you know what? You're right, and you're right about the defence. What was it, 1 goal that they've conceded in this tournament? So, you know, like I say, the only problem I have with Spain is that I haven't seen them enough. Whereas I think I've seen pretty much every single game of France live. So I'm a little bit biased in the sense of recency bias, but you're absolutely right. I mean, Spain can certainly do a job on them. I'm absolutely sure of it, but I just feel France just have that ability to just go up gears, and when they do it, they're unstoppable.
Nat, thank you very much. Enjoy that, and we can't wait to hear you on there. That's the semi-final. Don't forget both.
He's waving away there.
Natalie Sawyer will be hosting France against Spain on Tuesday live on talkSPORT.
What a game. What a privilege to be at that game.
Unbelievable. That was a look at some of the day's key talking points, all thanks to Burger King.
Sliding into game day on talkSPORT with Burger King Burger Buddies. Iconic winners delivered in the box every time. Order now on the BK app.
You can't do the Burger King thing without saying Burger King. You got to do it like that.
Burger King. Didn't sound so good for me, did it? Burger King.
Do you know what's good? The American accent's one accent you can do without everyone getting all upset about. You know, like impressions. Like you're allowed to do like, hey, USA.
Well, the boys were on earlier. I was listening to the boys earlier, Charlie and that, and they were doing West Country accent. And they sort of told each other off about doing that because, you know, that's got kind of demeaning a little bit, isn't it? You know, because it's
depends how you.
I don't know if it's demeaning, but you know what I mean. It's like a.
Charlie's from the West Country, so he can.
Well, he does a very good impression of a West Country person because he's from West Country.
It's like me doing a Northern Irish accent. You know, my mum's from Belfast.
Yeah. Oh, so that's allowed then.
So you can do it if you're from there. You can do it. So
because I play from Yeovil, can I do West Country then?
You can. Yeah.
Oh, we're a cider. What's a cider, Alan?
Don't forget, both World Cup semi-finals are live on talkSPORT on Tuesday and Wednesday evening. Remember as well, if you want to watch the England game, go to the talkSPORT fan zone.
I thought he was going to say come around my house. Don't come around my house.
Don't come around Pardew. On his own. SI Warehouse, where the Villa are, up the Villa. And that's going to be rocking. talksport.com/fan zone.
So do we do a show there? Is it like a chit-chat? DJ, you do the songs and all that.
You've got a DJ up there. You've got a little bit of talking with. They've had Dean Saunders up there. Dino's been up there.
I was with Dino the other day. Every time I see him on a golf course, right, he wants to give me a chipping lesson. He just can't stop himself. Like, come past, come on.
Is he really good at chipping?
He must be, because he keeps giving me a lesson.
Lesson in chipping.
I'm not doing very well, by the way, with it, but. He keeps giving me a lesson. I love Dean. He's a good talker, isn't he? He can talk.
A great talker.
Oh, he can talk.
Don't forget both World Cup semi-finals are live at talkSPORT on Tuesday and Wednesday evening. World Cup winner, the former French international Emmanuel Petit, joins the talkSPORT breakfast show.
There's a player for you.
Yeah. On Tuesday. And next up, we'll be discussing England's next opponents, Argentina. This is talkSPORT.
they get into this weird situation where they forget what happened before. So all the big games, they played Havertz, right? Gyökeres, who you bought in at the start of the season, was going to be, for all the big games, in all the big games, he was on the bench.
Yeah.
Facts, that's what happened. So the manager doesn't trust him. That's not our opinion, that's just objectively looking at it. Havertz, he gets injured quite a lot, unfortunately. Gary Jesus is not the same since he's come back from his injury. So if you're now telling me that you can get through this season again and everybody else is going to be as poor as they were last year, I think you're just forgetting the fact that you lot were all losing your marbles around the Man City loss. And it was, we need a proper striker. Arteta don't know what he's doing again. You win the league, it's great, we're going to win it.
Yeah, but you know, what I've always said to, I've always said to you, I always said to him that Gyökeres wasn't bought in for the big games, didn't I? I said that to you. We bought Gyökeres in.
What?
For the
No, I get
listen.
Explain.
I want to hear
The year before, Arsenal, it weren't the record against Man City's, the Liverpool, it weren't that cost us the league. It was we couldn't beat Fulham, couldn't beat West Ham, couldn't beat them lesser clubs. Gyökeres coming. I mean, he said it. Right, it's one of them. Gyökeres this season, though. Gyökeres this season scored against the Fulhams, the West Ham, so we didn't have a problem getting past those teams, which is why then we went on to win the league.
Okay, I think you won the league because you played very pragmatic football. I'm not actually allowed to say the type of football that people are calling it on air, but you played a certain type of football.
Would you play that type of football to win the league?
No.
What?
What are you talking? Of course you would.
Honestly.
If I was a footballer.
No, it's just like
You're my team.
Yeah.
No, I'll be happy like you lot. I'll be exactly. You get me? I'll be happy. Of course I will.
But would you like to see Spurs play that way to
Bro,
win?
Brendan Johnson scored with like his knee or something, and we won the trophy. I'm happy. I don't care, bro. However it gets done, I'm happy. I don't really care. But what I'm saying is, you can't like gloat about it and say, "Oh, we don't need a 9." That's crazy. You do need a 9, respectfully. What are you talking about, bro? If you sold Osimhen and Havertz right now, you could. Sorry, Osimhen. If you bought Osimhen and sold Gyökeres and Havertz right now, you'd be great. You'd be fine. You could buy Barcola. Barcola and Osimhen changes their team, bro.
Do you know what? I'm happy with what we got.
Oh, you're a liar. That's a lie. You're a liar. That is a lie. I'm happy with that.
You're listening to talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and Premier League legend Alan Pardew. 03717223344 is the number to give us a call on. Love to hear from you guys. Now let's head over to Wimbledon for the latest of the men's final with talkSPORT's Lisa O'Sullivan.
Still firmly on serve in this fantastic men's final on the centre court. Alexander Zverev finally taking a set off the world number one, taking the lead here. Yannick Sinner could rue not converting the only break point up for grabs in this men's final so far. No break of serve as it went to a first set tiebreak. Before this, the Italian was on a run of 14 straight sets against Zverev in his 9-match winning streak. But it is Alexander Zverev who leads 7-6, taking that first set tiebreak 9 points to 7. He is serving first in this second set, leading 4-3. Just some names in the royal box that you might have noticed if you've been looking at the pictures. Nicole Kidman's here, Ben Stiller alongside Dustin Hoffman as well. We've got Remy Malik and a whole host of favourites, including the brilliant Stefan Edberg.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Star-studded lineup at Wimbledon today.
Nicole Kidman sitting up there, I see her.
Did you see her?
She's got that very pale skin, isn't she? She doesn't like the sun on it. I can see the sun was on her skin. She won't be liking that. No, sitting next to Anne Wooter. Is it the Vogue editor?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know your stuff.
I know me fashion, right?
You do?
Yeah.
You should do
Tom
that.
Ford was on there the other day. Look well, Tom. He had a black suit and a black tie at Wimbledon in 34 degrees. Oof.
Style over comfort.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, underneath, I think he was a little bit warm.
Let's round up all the latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
So it's time to talk about England's opponents in the semi-final of the World Cup on Wednesday night, Argentina. It was a late one last night for me because when I got back from the Birmingham
gig.
And
you then couldn't sleep because your adrenaline was going.
Well, I ended up missing my flight to Cyprus, didn't I?
Oh, I
supposed to be going on an Napa. So because of the lateness of the England gig, going extra time, meant that I didn't get to Heathrow in time.
So would you hold it? So you was going to fly to A&M and then fly back today for the show, or you was just going to miss the show?
I was going to miss the show.
Oh, for crying out loud!
I had a gig, but
you got to get your priorities right. This is the show. You have to start bringing in some sort of fine system.
I like it. We're fines with the gaffing. It would come into the room like the fine list. But yeah, so I ended up watching the Argentina-Switzerland game. Wow.
Swiss, how did they do? Just don't talk about Argentina for a minute. Just talk about Switzerland. How did they do?
I thought they were decent enough. They deserved to go to penalties, I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, a bit of magic. Switzerland's Bril Embolo became the first player to be sent off as a result of a new law for mistaken identity at this summer's World Cup. Embolo, booked in the first half, was sent off after 70 minutes of his country's quarterfinal defeat by Argentina, following a second yellow card for simulation. The caution was initially handed to Argentina's Leandro Paredes for what at first appeared a clumsy challenge until the video assistant referee intervened to send referee João Pinheiro to the monitor. On review, the official deemed Embolo to have died.
Well, I've seen the replay. Have you seen it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible, terrible dive, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, he deserves to go sent off. And it's an example to all young children. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Young footballers, right? So let's park that for a minute. But let's go. I want to go back to VAR, right? Because VAR stepped in and made a lot of decisions that were incorrect correct in this World Cup in a kind of good way. Would you agree or not agree?
I agree. Yeah.
But compared to the Premier League, where we seem to have. I mean, obviously, it's a much bigger tournament, the Premier League. There's more games, etc., etc. There's more VAR moments. But I do think it's being managed much better.
What's been interesting is the overturning of decisions, because normally when they go to the screen, it's like, it's a pen. We're going to get a pen. Like the Jed Spence one yesterday. What did you make of that? Penalty or not a penalty?
Not a penalty. I thought it was the right call again.
So the right call.
Yeah. In the end, because obviously you give a penalty, didn't you?
So, looking back at that, and again, I think we're getting a little bit more of sensible decisions now of what would have been before. You look at that and go, you tripped over your own foot. No, it's not a pen. Move on. But before, when they slowed everything down, everything looked so bad on VAR. I think we're actually getting past that now. And we're looking at the context of how things have happened.
There was one incident where someone was moaning about a still shot. I can't remember what one that was, but the referee only see the still. That I hate that. They should make sure they see the footage so that they get a clear picture.
Yeah.
Because obviously, particularly in slow-mo, when you see a tackle, like Kwanzaa's in particular, looked awful in slow-mo, but actually didn't look too bad in real time. So that super slow is a bit like my dance at Wembley. I only did it for a second, but in super slow, it looked bad. But, that's part of it.
That dance was not bad. It was great, and it was great in the moment, okay? Let's
let it go.
You haven't. Let's talk about Argentina then in general.
Okay.
And have they
finally got round to them?
Have they been lucky in this World Cup?
I wouldn't say they've been lucky. I think they've been fortunate with a couple of decisions that have gone their way. I think when I look at them as a team, at the back, I think they're gettable. They're not a team that I think are sound at the back. Martinez, the Man United centre-back, has had moments that have been poor. His recoveries have been incredible. He did one last night, didn't he? He flew across and got a great blocking. But he's been pulled out of position. He actually was out of position for that particular block that he put in, where he tried to play on offside. So there's moments that I think you can get at them. Obviously, offensively, they are a really, really great outfit. Probably as good as us, if not better than us. You got Alvarez, the Atletico Madrid wide player, who used to be at Man City, who's got the wonder goal last night. You got Messi, of course, Martinez. There's McAllister, who did he score last night, the header? And then he almost scored with another head. He's good in the air, isn't he?
And he's small.
Yeah, and so they have some...
Have they played anyone? Like, you look at who they've played, Algeria, Austria, probably their hardest opponents, maybe. Well, Egypt, obviously. But Jordan, Cape Verde, who obviously with like the...
Yeah, but I think we've got to come away from that because, we are down to... If you was to say who are the top four teams in this tournament, these have always been the four, haven't they? We haven't really said, Brazil were in the top four or Germany are in the top four. They wasn't.
But they struggled against Cape Verde. They struggled against Egypt. There was a lot of luck involved in that one. People say, the guile and the grit and they're never beaten. But, There's been a lot of things gone in their favour. That's all I'm going to say in that instance.
Oh, well, Egypt, I thought they were going out.
Yeah.
2-0. It was done. Was
76 minutes, I think it was, wasn't it?
I thought it was done. I was watching that game, and I thought they're done. But they found a way, and a bit like us, we find a way. Yeah. We got two teams, sort of immovable objects. One will have to be moved, and let's hope it's Argentina.
That was the roundup of all the latest World Cup action on talkSPORT, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. They're here for it.
Daily Tournament Roundup on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Like I said, I was at the SI warehouse last night for the talkSPORT fan zone. As I said, tickets are still available for Wednesday. They'll be gone quick because it's very good in there.
Can I ask, presumably, that would have been called off if we got knocked out last night?
I would have thought so.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. And
so tickets are available?
They are available, but they'll go very quickly in the next 24 hours. talksport.com/fan zone. And last night I got to see Gabs there. Had a big cuddle when we scored, when Jude scored. So it's good to catch up with Gabby from the hall.
Bit of a sweaty cuddle, was it?
Oh, yeah, we both sweating. It's hot in there. And actually, I say that, the aircon in there is fantastic.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad.
So an air-conditioned, beautiful venue.
Imagine the scene. The biggest indoor screen in the UK.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, really. Aircon. Yeah. Lots of bars everywhere, so you can always get a drink. Food. Grub. DJ playing.
Plate sauce, chicken wings, etc., etc.
All the good stuff.
Chili and cheese.
Yep.
Chili chips.
All the good stuff. And an atmosphere, second to none. So I recommend you get yourself down there. Of course, it was nice to see Gabby last night. But coming up, I'm going to have my right to reply to Gabby because he's been doing a lot of talking about Spurs recently on air.
Go on, son, give me a minute.
Oh, yeah.
You going to do it now or are you going to...
No, we're going to have a short pause and then we'll be back for some of that action. 0371722 344. It's talkSPORT.
Let's go to Ben. He's Arsenal fan. All right, Ben?
Benny boy.
How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right, Ben. We've got to do this quarter-final 11. Let's get it going. Come on.
All right. I've got the Spanish flamenco dance on the wing. Dancing around defence. Their foot tapping all dazzle their defence and send them sideways.
Yeah, the old flamenco dance.
And
Dancing
the little maverick on the wing. Little maverick on the wing.
Like a flamenco dance.
Yeah.
What are they called? Is it a flamenco or is it what is it? Flamenco.
Madame, wait for you.
Flamenco.
It's a flamenco.
Yeah.
Flamenco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know you're iconic now, Ben?
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's actually iconic.
Ben appears every single night at the sports bar.
Every night.
Doesn't he?
Without foul.
Yeah. Yeah. Been over a year.
It's been a year. All right, look, the flamenco dancer on the wing.
Yeah.
Okay, dancing about. Bit of maverick in there. All right, let's go to Dave. He's a Sunderland fan. Dave?
All right, Dave-o.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
I'm all right, Dave. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. So I'm getting in early with a representative from England who I think can be our captain.
Okay.
And it's St. George himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a leader, warrior. He's up for a battle. He'll put the opposition to the sword. And I think we can play him on the wing.
No, he don't feel like a winger, mate.
Killed a dragon.
Well,
centre half.
Killed a dragon, didn't he?
Reason being, he's got a good cross, hasn't he, St. George?
Okay.
No,
I feel like as a person, like St. George feels like a centre half. He feels like a Bobby Moore. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's not often a World Cup great is known for his time on the pitch and in the dugout. Franz Beckenbauer is one of 3 men to win the tournament, both as a player and manager, and Der Kaiser's tenure with West Germany is iconic. We all know Beckenbauer as that grizzled warrior, so seeing him here, a young, fresh-faced 21-year-old, doesn't feel right, does it? 1966 was his first World Cup, when he was already building a reputation for his strong, marauding play, playing the libero or sweeper role for Bayern Munich. He had to act as a more traditional centre-back for the national team, though. West Germany fell short, losing in the final to England, but you already know that. Despite revenge over England in the quarters 4 years later, a game in which Beckenbauer was keen to get stuck in, West Germany were knocked out by Italy in the semi-finals. At 25 years old, he had a bronze medal, a silver medal, and the gold was coming. In 1974, West Germany didn't lose a single game on their way to winning their first title. And to top it all off, it was on home soil. And this was the team they beat to it, their fierce, total footballing rivals, the Netherlands, a team fronted by Johan Cruyff. Beckenbauer shocked the world when in 1977, aged just 32, he retired from international football to go and play for the New York Cosmos. The world went mad, but when you're going to go and be teammates with this guy, I mean, yeah, fair. Beckenbauer did come back to the West Germany national team, but as a manager in 1986. His task, get through the World Cup without embarrassment. But they reached the final and only lost to Argentina and their iconic captain, who, let's be honest, at the time was unstoppable. Beckenbauer returned for one final World Cup at Italia 90, where he got his revenge. West Germany beat Argentina in the final, and Beckenbauer became, at the time, only the second man after Brazil's Mario Zagallo to win the World Cup both as player and manager. So across 5 World Cups as a player and manager, he got a bronze medal, 2 silvers, and lifted the cup twice. That smile tells you everything you need to know.
Welcome to the final word here on talkSPORT, the Majestic, alongside the legendary football gaffer Alan Pardew. Thanks for all the calls so far as we count down for England's huge semi-final against Argentina live on talkSPORT on Wednesday. But for now, we're going to focus on stories closer to home as Spurs and Newcastle fall under the spotlight. And if you have a view about their transfer dealings so far, the phone lines are open right now on 03 717 223344, and we'll hear from you next on the final word on talkSPORT. And you just heard in the news bulletin there, reports suggest that Gianni Infantino said FIFA will examine expanding the World Cup by a further 16 nations past the 64-team tournament ahead of its next edition in 2030. The 2030 tournament will be spread across 6 nations and 3 continents. Pars, your thoughts? Well, he's the gaffer.
Fan fix it. I know. You kind of say about this tournament that I was wrong. I said at the start of the tournament that I don't think it should be enlarged. I liked it nice and tight, where the top nations deserve to go through into a major tournament. But the third place, the extra teams, and the third place qualification made the first round games much more competitive. So that worked, definitely. To increase it again, he'll do it. I mean, this guy is running the rule over the FA, over football at the moment. He's the main man. There is no committee. It's him.
What do you reckon to this, though, right? Because we've got 64 teams now. What about if they do this in like the kids' football tournaments, didn't they? You've got the main cup. Imagine if there was a shield that like some of the lesser countries that could compete for. For example, some of those that have gone out, thirds and fourths, whatever else, they all go into that side of the competition and they play for a shield or something, maybe, rather than then that keeps that tournament going for those guys as well. Would that be a thing?
Yeah, I suppose it could be a thing. Or if you get knocked out early, you go into the Shield competition, a bit like they used to do with the Champions League when you used to go down to the Europa Cup. So you get knocked out of the group stages or whatever, and you play for the Shield. I could see that because sometimes when they go to these tournaments, they play two games and it's done. You're over. You're going home. It's a lot of expense for some of these countries who probably would find it difficult to manage the logistics and the costs of everything to take a team there. I don't know, but I just know something. If he's suggesting it will happen.
I will say though, I have enjoyed the Cape Verdes of this world.
Yeah, they've brought some colour.
There's been some great stories.
Yeah,
and I think perhaps, like he said, who are we to say that these smaller nations shouldn't be dreaming of being at World Cup?
And another little doff of the cap to the three host nations and the organisation that went into this tournament, because everything's run really smoothly, hasn't it?
It seems to. Yeah.
I mean, logistically, we haven't really had the moans that we've had in the past about World Cups. There's been no trouble. It's all been, pretty on the money. And the kickoff times, the countdown, that's worked.
Well, I've heard Big Don in it talking. They say it's the greatest World Cup they've ever had. It's the most successful. Go. I've got to say that maybe they want it here every year. I've heard him. Yeah. He's been taking all the credit.
Listen, when we get to the final, because we're going to have the halftime super show, won't we, in America? It's got the halftime show.
With Justin Bieber.
Donald Trump will be turning up to hand over the trophy. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
So if England win the World Cup, right?
Yeah,
Big Don's there. Whyam's there in the background, and he's doing his dance.
Listen, we've been talking about dancing a lot today.
We have.
There's no time. He won't be doing his dance.
He does his dance. The
Whyam's handing over the trophy.
When he handed over the World Club Cup trophy to Chelsea, he didn't leave.
No, he stayed around. He stayed. A bit like John Terry, just hanged around there. I see Henderson was in his full kit the other day, wasn't he?
He was. I like that.
That wrist. Have you seen the clip of it?
I don't want to. I've seen it. It's so horrible. It makes me.
His arm just crumbles, doesn't it?
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Recently on talkSPORT Breakfast Show, Aston Villa legend Gabby Agbonlahor had this to say about Tottenham's recent spending.
Speak for Newcastle fans, for Villa fans, or a lot of fans whose clubs can't spend money right. Spurs have finished 17th. 2 seasons in a row, right? And then teams like Aston Villa, who have just won the Europa League, are getting fined £19 million and can't spend any money. It's a joke.
They're obviously spending.
I don't care. It's a joke. Your team as well, Manchester United. Spend whenever you want. The rules are a joke. What's the point, mate? What's the point? The rules are terrible, though, Andy. Come on, mate. Be real now. It's that bias, mate. It's that so-called top 6 bias. Clubs like Aston Villa and Newcastle can't buy anyone. But Spurs finished 17th, 2 seasons in a row, and then go and spend. What's next? Who's going to go and get next?
That was Gabriel Agbonlahor, Villa legend there. Very upset about Spurs' recent spending and the inability for Villa and Newcastle. Go on, Pardew, you speak first.
Let me just say this about what Gabby's point is that the UEFA rules to be in the UEFA competitions are different to the Premier League rules, i.e. in your spend capital. So those teams that are qualified for Europe can't overspend, otherwise they're going to fall foul of UEFA rules, not the Premier League rules.
Okay.
So that's why it frees up a little bit if you're not in those competitions to spend a little bit more money.
Okay, so
or if you haven't been involved in Europe like Aston Villa were the last couple of years, they've been under that rule scheme so it's restricted them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
So that there is that I think that's what he means, I think.
But yeah, so just to bring that back, because I've heard so much disdain to Spurs' spending, and it feels like, bar Jamie, Mr. O'Hara, there hasn't been a Spursy voice
there is
to come back. There is now. And before and before anyone goes, here he goes, a Spurs fan. Let me just stop.
Well, you are a Spurs fan.
But let me stop you.
Listen, on it. But listen,
no, but let me stop
you. Listen, you like to sit on the wall of neutrality.
Yes, I do.
You do.
I pride
you like
myself
to sit on that wall, and you're looking at Arsenal, you're looking at Spurs in a kind of overview. You're not trying to be, but you are a Spurs fan, so you do. One shoulder just dips.
No, I'm telling you
it
now.
It does. It
right?
just skip
because I only want to deal with facts.
Spurs
Yeah?
a little bit
And the fact of the matter is, right? Like I think what annoys a lot of
I know
other,
it always annoys you, so I always bring it up.
What annoys other fans is, like I've heard Jamie say, and I've heard other people say, we're back, and everyone goes,
We're
back to
back.
where?
Right.
And I agree with that. And
Yeah.
one thing I agree with, we've been dreadful in the league 2 seasons in a row, finishing 17th, back-to-back seasons. Nobody's dressing that up, and nobody's pretending otherwise. But again, that needs context as well, because one season we won a European trophy during that season of becoming 17th, and last year, being 17th, we were still playing Champions League football, right? Okay, so when you're looking at a football club overall, that needs to be taken into account. Football's not black and white. It's not that simple when we talk about the big six and why Spurs are there. This is still a football club that, like I said, just won a European trophy. It's a football club playing Champions League football regularly in the last sort of 10 years or so. It's a football club with one of the best stadiums in the world.
Where did you finish last year? Just quick.
Yeah, the 17th back to back.
Okay, I just want to ask.
But my thing
There's
is...
a reason I'm asking that.
Okay, but my thing is, with Gabs, especially what Gabs is talking about and other fans, what pool of years are we going to take into account? Because when they have the argument that like Villa are a bigger club than Spurs because they won the Europa, they won Big Ears. They won the European Cup in 1980, was it? Villa won it, right?
Possibly, yeah.
So which periods of time do we, because when Spurs used to talk about we were the first club to win the double and, all that kind of stuff, years in the 60s, which periods of time are we taking into sort of this, okay, this dictates when you're a big club?
When's the end line?
Yes, right? Because if it's over a 20-year period and you're talking about Villa, Newcastle, etc., because they're probably the closest, yeah? In that period of time, they've been relegated, which Spurs flirted with last year, to the Championship. Let me finish, right? Because in that time, when Aston Villa were in the Championship, Spurs were building to this moment here. We're at that moment now. That moment of revenue, the club
because of the new stadium.
Because of the stadium. And everybody, including myself, has mocked Beyonce's at the stadium this week. We got the F1 experience downstairs. How wonderful. Now's the time that they've actually gone, we need to, because we were so close to relegation last season.
Correct.
To invest those funds into what this is in the first place, which is a football club. So
what are you at? What's the point you're actually making?
My point is this, right? People that are getting angry with Spurs. Spurs are...
Who are getting angry about? Well, they're angry about the size of the fees.
Well, the fact of people are rubbish in the signings now. We're overpaying for everyone, apparently.
Right, okay.
Right?
So this is the crime sheet.
Okay, I'm going to give you the crime sheet.
You're overpaying.
So we're overpaying, yeah? People are upset that we're doing it and people like Aston Villa and Newcastle aren't, even though they finished above us in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
But they're under UEFA rules, which are slightly different.
Yeah, but in general, even if the UEFA rules weren't in place, they don't generate the same revenue as Spurs over the last X amount of seasons.
Okay.
Right? And then again, if you're looking at who's a bigger club and you're having all this debate, Spurs are the 9th richest club in the world right now.
London club. Big London club.
So my issue I have is when they're talking about Tonali and everyone's going, he's only gone there for the money, right?
Yeah.
First and foremost, as you know in football, money talks. It opens a door to a conversation, but it doesn't mean you're going to walk through the door. You have to look at everything else. De Zerbi, for example, both of them being from Brescia, Tonali and De Zerbi, the respect he has when you hear Tonali talking about him, London club, the stadium, all of these different factors come into play. It's not a footballer looking, they finished 17th last year. Why did Cunha and Mbueno go to Manchester United? No European football. They finished 16th the year before. Because it's Manchester United. I'm not saying Spurs are Man United, by the way. But Spurs are a big club.
Of course.
And the disdain towards the way we're operating now is so frustrating because we have been absolutely battered with the fact that we don't spend money for 20 years with Daniel Levy at the helm. Daniel's no longer there. There's a different way of running the club and a different thought process. The club has now evolved.
Right, okay.
There's different people involved.
So let's just sum this up. So you're upset that people are having a go at Spurs because they're spending too much money.
Correct.
On potentially players who people are assuming not worth the valuation that you're actually paying.
Absolutely.
You're paying over the odds. I would suggest, because you finished 17th, you probably need to pay over the odds,
Correct.
right? So that's one downside. What I would say about the Premier League, when you look at the league table, it's very, very difficult to move 3 or 4 places up, right? I don't care who you are. Where you finished the year before, to move 3 or 4 places is difficult. You've got to move 8 or 10. Maybe you could argue more than that, right? Places.
Leicester avoided relegation, won the league the year after.
No,
that's what happened.
Yeah, but my point...
But that's what happened.
No, but you ain't listening to my point.
I am.
My point being,
to moving up is difficult.
It is difficult. So you have to pay over the odds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
back the argument.
embellish
I completely
your
agree.
argument that because of the situation you're in, you got to pay over the odds and you got to move quick. You got to get your team assembled quick so he can put it in place. So I got no problem with where you're going.
Yeah.
I think the signings have been actually pretty sound.
Yeah, no, and we've looked at Spurs' signings over the last few years, and what have we identified? None of them are Premier League made players. Now, we've gone in, and Tonali, one of Newcastle's best players.
And one of Italy's best players. I know Italy are not at the World Cup, but they should be.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at Senesi, was player of the season for Bournemouth last year.
And my centre-half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, so
Van Hecker, as established Premier League defender. The same way Ben White was when Arsenal bought him from Brighton.
So do we think, right, with our Spurs hats on, right, because obviously I'm an ex-player without a legacy number, that this team is going to play a back three?
I'd like to think so when you look at what's available.
But Spence, when you look at Spence, probably better as a wing-back. Would you agree?
I agree with that. But the other thing...
And the three centre-backs, obviously Van der Ven would have to stay. And we assuming he's staying.
Who, Van der Ven?
Yeah.
I would have thought so. You could definitely bear back.
You don't think that the two centre-halves that have come in is because he's going to go to Man United?
I think he stays. I think he stays because of the project.
I slightly have a doubt.
Well, we will see. But at the end of the day, you got his Dutch international teammate there in Van Hecker. You know, there's a lot of reasons for him to stay. And also, you got to remember, Van der Ven, all these players were part of the fact that we finished 17th. They owe the club as much as anyone. But let's
go back to that argument about money talks, right? Van der Ven ain't got no emotion about last year.
Yeah,
by the
but
way.
when
he's looking at this year.
But when we're now dishing out the contracts and people are on 270s a week, etc., and they go to him, here's your contract, you're on the same money, there you go. Don't have to move. But just to round up my point, because we're going to get some Spurs phone calls, we're going to get Villa phone calls, Newcastle, etc. PSR was brought in because there are rich owners out there who can fund clubs and go into debt, etc., which makes it...
There were states that actually...
Correct.
States-owned clubs
now
funded by states.
Newcastle's owners are far richer than Spurs' owners, yeah? Spurs as a football club are richer than Newcastle, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and the sustainability, etc.
Yeah.
Don't be annoyed.
Because the problem we always had at Newcastle was it never really generated, with the boxes and everything, enough money to warrant being able to challenge a Spurs or an Arsenal or a Man United. But of course, they're restricted because the actual club doesn't generate the money it needs to really go for the league title.
And I tell you what,
problem.
For example, Everton...
Spurs probably with this stadium could challenge for the title, right? Would we say that?
With the finances.
I know we're talking about from 17.
But again, Everton were actually the first club looking at doing what we did. They were the blueprint, and they didn't get signed off by, I think, the council, the mayor, whatever else. They were looking at doing that multi-purpose stadium. Remember, we had the guest on, didn't we, here on the show to talk about that. And, you know, they already foresight that. Everton now, with their new stadium, they had rugby in there at the weekend. You see the Ruggers was there?
No.
Yeah, so they had rugby there, and they had it last weekend as well. They'll be generating a lot more income. They'll be able to up their expenditure. My thing is, it's just as simple to round this up, because we're going to go to Lisa in a moment, to Wimbledon, is don't be annoyed at Spurs for operating within the rules that protect us from, like you said, rich people just coming in and taking over. Spurs actually, and this is going to be my hot fact and takeaway, and you know, cause controversy, Spurs should be celebrated for building a club organically within the financial rules of things. And now we're finally spending money. People are annoyed. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. A bit like Arteta, who was told he's got no grit. You got no backbone, no spine. You're never going to beat City. Found a way to do it. Arsenal was still, you're not won the league properly. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Anyway, let's go over to Wimbledon and get the latest from the men's final with talkSPORT's Lisa O'Sullivan.
Where Yannick Sinner has levelled the match, taking the second set tiebreak, 7 points to 2, 3 unforced errors for Alexander Zverev, proving very expensive in the 13th game of that second set. He'd taken the first set 9-7, again, just one break point up for grabs in that first set, and Yannick Sinner unable to convert it, but it's 1 set all. We're going 4 sets here on centre court.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Right, get those calls in. We've got the phone lines have lit up. I knew they would light up. 03 717 223344. By the way, Man United finished 15th, not 16th, as if that really matters. 03
Oh, they're all coming for you now.
717
You got to get your facts right.
223344. It is Madge and Pards on talkSPORT.
Newcastle's summer exodus is set to reach a crisis point. Sean, you'll have heard this news. Sandro Tonali, Anthony Gordon, of course, already out the door. Club captain and fan favourite Bruno Guimaraes has reportedly informed the hierarchy that he wants to join champions Arsenal, with another star player forcing his way out. Darren Bent raised serious concerns about what this loss could mean for Eddie Howe next season.
Yeah, I do feel for Eddie Howe. I really do, because again, if Bruno leaves tonight, he's obviously gone to Tottenham as well. Isaac, they just haven't been able to kind of recruit the players certainly the quality that they've lost. And you look at what they've bought some of these players for. Isaac, was it 60 million? They're selling for 120. Like tonight, they bought him for a fee. They're selling for more. So clearly, he's improving these players. But at some point, I think if Newcastle do want to go to the next level, they've got. I know it's hard with the PSR and the financial fair play, but if they do want to go to the next level and then stay there, they've got to find a way of holding on to some of these players.
Oh, look at Darren and his floral number. Watching on the smart TV, I like that. Sure. Do you have sympathy for Eddie Howe in this situation? The latest is that Bruno has agreed personal terms with Arsenal, but Newcastle's stance is that he remains not for sale.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's really tough, and the challenge that you have is not just if one of your big players goes at any football club, at any level really. People understand there's a time and a place. When two go, that can make other players a bit itchy and a bit nervy. Then if three go, all of a sudden they go, hang on a minute, who are we bringing in? And I think they're right on that cusp. I don't know their situation at PSR, but I've been through that, obviously, in my time at Everton, so I know how dangerous that can be. But I think losing the players of that quality, I think that's really tough on Eddie, and I think he's done a great job there. So hopefully, I mean, look, you never know on the other side of that. Good people in their recruitment there. They've shown that over the years, so they might have people lined up, don't forget. So these things can twist very quickly when you get a freshness in the camp and a newness and some quality, and all of a sudden it can feel different.
Hopefully England are going for gold. That World Cup, that gold trophy.
This is your remix.
This is my remix of Spandau Ballet's Gold.
Down?
It's out now.
Has it gone down well?
It seems to, but obviously you didn't
play it yesterday.
I didn't get to play it yesterday.
Come on, man.
I know.
You've got to promote yourself.
I know, but it was like, I think I played something and it wasn't time to do it. It's going off in Ibiza, it's doing well. But I'll tell you what is gold. Golden Radio is talking about Spurs because it gets everyone's backs up. Spurs fans as well, Newcastle fans as well. David says, let's be clear in Majestic, nobody owes a club anything at Spurs. They take their wage and look elsewhere. Tonali is prime example. Left Newcastle for a 17th place team for 270k a week. Spurs are not building when they finished 17th twice on the spin. This obsession with Spurs finishing 17th twice on the spin.
Not an obsession, it's a fact.
Yeah, it's an obsession with the fact. But the fact is, when that happens, the business have gone, we need to change how we're operating, sack Daniel Levy, and now they're doing this. And if it wasn't for Daniel Levy's way he structured and worked the club for the last 20 years, we wouldn't now be in a position to spend this money. So we're now spending the money, and the facts of the matter is we can. And people are getting upset about it because, they're thinking league position is going to dictate what you can do financially. No, it's not how it works. This is not how economics work. And at the end of the day, Spurs have played a great economical game, whilst us, the fans, have suffered. We've suffered for these years.
I'm paying through the nose, by the way.
Still do. I just
still. Is it still the top money?
It is top money, yeah.
No, isn't it the biggest money?
I think it is
in terms of a certain season ticket, positional wise.
Yeah, my season ticket is ridiculously expensive. But listen, as I say, it's not comped. I got accused of that once. I'll show you the receipts if you like. But anyway, if you just joined us, I was talking about the fact that there's been a lot of talk about Spurs' recent spending. And you know what? Simon Jordan has said a lot as well. I actually agree with him in terms of just because you spend money doesn't mean you're going to be successful. And we have to watch. What we have to now wait and see is how De Zerbi gets on, how Spurs gets on, and how this new squad gets on. The proof is in the pudding. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that Spurs are trying to dine at the top table finally.
Remember was it the window that I really criticised?
Yeah.
Was it 2 windows ago, 3 windows ago? When it just lacked ambition.
It was the Archie Gray window.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And Lucas Bergvall, etc.
This window is certainly looking a little 100%. Bit more like,
And again, the fact of the matter is, the Newcastle fan there talking about 17th place and all that. Football and economics, they go over 20, 30 years periods. In that period of time, Newcastle will be relegated. Aston Villa have been relegated. Whilst these guys were in the Championship, Spurs were looking ahead to building that stadium and the facilities that they have now. And now they're finally reaping the financial reward. Whether or not it pays off on the pitch, we will find out. And that's why I don't ever go down the rhetoric of Spurs are back. Spurs are back to possibly competing like we did under Poch, where we didn't back him. Let's go over to Darren.
Spurs are back.
Exactly. Let's go over to Darren, who's a Spurs fan. How are you, Darren?
Definitely back.
All right there.
How are you, Darren? You all right, mate?
All right, sorry, yeah. No, great to speak to a music legend.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Tottenham legend, Mr. Pardew.
Darren, what have you made of some of the sort of response to Spurs' spending this transfer window? Because it feels like, and I had to do it today because it's the first time being on air for ages, it felt like it needed a bit of a Spurs right to reply because we've been getting battered for our spending.
Well, jealousy's a terrible thing, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, this club, that's Tottenham Hotspur, has been held back by Daniel Levy financially for the last 20 years. The club has been generating money even before the stadium. For the size of the stadium, with commercial side and everything, I've got a share in Spurs, so I used to get the, well, I still do, I get the prospectus every year. The club's always made money, and the debt that we've got is the stadium. Now, the stadium's been paying for itself. Now, we only pay 1% interest because we've done a deal with the banks before COVID. So we have our outgoings for the stadium is more than covered by all the off-field activities.
Darren, can you repeat that again? Because that's a great little bit of information that some of us were unaware of. So what was you saying about the deal with the banks?
If you look at the debt, it's actually a side company that actually own the stadium. It's like a subsidiary of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And what they did was that when they bought the stadium, they used that as a part of the Tottenham Hotspur entertainment side. As much as I hate the sound of it, we are becoming a new Wembley. We are an entertainment venue. Now, the money that we pay per year is generated, and the payments back to that debt are generated by what we do off the field. Now, the thing is, this has been going on for how long? 7 years we've been in that stadium, which is incredible to say that. I mean, I think we're way behind where we should be.
Correct.
Daniel Levy held us back. I agree with Alan on I mean, as much as I love both players, you cannot sustain being in the top 4 or 5 buying players for the future. And because Levy had this obsession that he was going to get the next Gareth Bale.
Correct.
And I mean, at the end of the day, Daniel Levy had to go. He had to go. And because of the legal situation with Joe Lewis, he...
And he said it time ago as well, is Daniel's built a spaceship. Maybe it's time for someone else to run it. And I agree with him.
Yeah, he's got his been handed over.
He's got his reservations about the guys running it now, which, because, at the end of the day...
I have as well.
Absolutely.
all this investment is geared to us being sold next summer. I'm 100% sure of it. Because they absolutely got terrified because they wanted to sell the club. They were terrified. We're not just talking about 150 million if we'd have gone down. You're talking about $1.5 billion being wiped off the value of the club. So this is small change for them. If they get us back in the top 5, because remember, it is top 5, right? Because it looks like that way, and it will be that way because we're just too strong in the Champions League. I mean, we were fantastic in the Champions League last year. No one's talking about that.
Well, that's the thing, Darren. You know, I hate this word. We all think as fans there's an agenda against our club on talkSPORT, right? You know, I know the Arsenal fans feel that way, other fans feel that way. But I do feel like sometimes Spurs are held to a different standard than everybody else. Because like you said, last season, we was in the Champions League, and that was the one joy that we had as Spurs fans because, you know, we ended up finishing, I think, 4th in the early stages. Obviously got knocked out by Atletico Madrid, that terrible game, and Igor Tudor was involved. You know, it was a mess of a season. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, London club, great facilities in the Champions League last season. You know, it's not like, you know, people paint us out to be 17th, you know, every single season, whereas we've been in Europe 18 out of the last 20 seasons, I think it is.
Years ago when we actually moved into the stadium. I mean, how dare they say that they're bigger clubs than us?
Darren, do you know what? Stay there because I want to speak to you after the short pause. We're going to go for a short pause. I want Newcastle fans to call us as well to get their reaction on Tonali moving as well. 03717 22 3344. This is talkSPORT.
I mean, as recently as 2024, Bruno Touzazol, he told everybody who cared to listen what he wanted to achieve at Newcastle.
Never said that I would like to leave. Since I signed for the club, I always said I want to put my name in the club history, and nothing changed. Nothing changed for me. It is keeping going. I still want to win some trophy for me. When I signed for the club, I said I want to play Champions League, and everyone said that I was crazy. And we got it. Now I wanna be in Champions League again. I wanna win something for the club. I think the fans deserve. We are worked so hard to get it. So this is still my dream.
And then a year later, Simon, they win the Carabao Cup, and Bruno says, "This is my second home. We're making history. Someday, when I leave this club, I want the fans to sing my name the way they do Alan Shearer." I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Well, look, first and foremost, ask yourself the question: why are these players suddenly all deserting the sinking ship? It's not a sinking ship, but it doesn't appear to be a particularly ambitious one. It doesn't appear to have an ownership model that everyone thought was going to change the whole direction of football. Oh my God, we've just sold to a nation state, one of the richest nation states, and look what they're going to do to football. But they haven't done anything. They're going to buy everybody. They're going to buy Ronaldo. They're going to buy Messi. They're going to have this player here, that player, this player, you know, and they haven't. Yeah. They bought a bunch of players that to some extent they've gone and made better. And these players are now doing what every player does, which is go, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid. And that's what Newcastle have found themselves in a position of doing. So ask yourself the question, despite the vilification of a player that 2 years ago said he wanted to stay, nothing lasts forever. He's done his 2 years. He is entitled to leave. How he leaves is the key component part of this. But also, why? Why are Newcastle now a place where people want to leave from?
Yeah.
And that's the problem Eddie Howe's got. That's the problem that Matey Boy that says that to everyone they're going to win the league by 2030.
Yeah.
Those are the challenges that they've got.
Good evening. You're listening to the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT with Madge and Pards. We've been speaking about England this evening. Thomas Tuchel, Jude Bellingham. We've been talking about Madueke and Saka. Argentina. We spoke to Faye Carruthers. We spoke to Natalie Sawyer. We've done loads during the show.
France,
Spain as well. So my lovely texter is like, Madge, why are you talking about Spurs after England? We spoke loads on England. So a little talk about Spurs.
Yeah, but everyone's excited about England. No, come on. They just want it. They want to talk about England, don't they?
Call us. 03717.
What about the Spurs players who are playing for England?
Jed Spence.
That's it, isn't it?
Doing well. 03717 223344.
I mean, in the old days, we'd have 5 from Spurs.
Yeah, but we will be facing another Spurs player in Romero in the semi-final.
Oh, okay.
You can get inside his head, get him sent off. Let's go back to Darren because he was on the phone to us beforehand. How are you, Darren?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just want to say that no club has represented England players more than Tottenham Hotspur. If you look in the books, our players are the most from any club in English football, by the way.
Yeah,
and also the best.
That was the point I was making.
We could go on.
There you go. And also, before Darren, we go back into it. You know, like as I've said, Pards, before a million times, if you listen to this show and you have
our show,
right?
Yeah.
The reason we spoke about so much Spurs is because it's on a Sunday, and we've played on Sundays. And when I talk about Spurs, I criticise us a lot. So much so that I've actually...
You don't need to
no, I do, because people that don't listen are like, oh, you're talking about Spurs. Because I talk about Spurs doesn't mean I'm biased about it. It's part of our show. Anyway, Darren, you had some good points. What do you want to round up on, Darren?
Yeah, what I want to round up on is, as much as I respect the other two clubs, Villa and Newcastle, that have really piped on, I was around in those days, unfortunately, I am that age. When has Newcastle ever been a bigger club than Tottenham Hotspur? Apart from 2 seasons, which they didn't beat us anyway, they couldn't even beat us in the Charity Shield after they won the league title and went on to win the European Cup. When has Aston Villa been a bigger club than Tottenham? Because if you look at the history books, most of Villa's trophies were before the war or around the war. Tottenham, the last 60 years, we've regularly, apart from the last 20 years under ENIC, we've always regularly won trophies. And I find it incredible. It's this generation that think football was not invented until 1992. Before 1992, Tottenham won the FA Cup 3 times in 10 years. Now, teams didn't dominate that cup then because people took it seriously. And we had 4 finals in that 10 years, from 81 to 91. And we lost. And even the one we lost, we shouldn't have. And it was arguably one of the greatest finals of all time. But it just seems like the generation fans now only see Tottenham for the last 20 years. Now, the last 20 years, we've finished in Europe, 18 of that 20 years. We've had some of the greatest players that's ever played in the Premier League. We started this foreign invasion in 1978 with Villiers and Ardiles, and then we started it up again when we bought Klinsmann. Arsenal would not have bought Bergkamp if we hadn't bought Klinsmann the season before, because they saw the amount of money that it would bring in. And the thing is, I just find it incredible that these 2 teams that were struggling and been relegated in the last 15 years, when we were in the Champions League or even Europe, and having players like Berbatov, Keane, and all these players playing for us, are saying now that we're beneath them. It's incredible. I mean, it's.
But we do live in a world that's not instant. You know, like social media, it is like, I mean, you have given us a historical, factual report on Spurs. There's no doubt about that.
And again, Darren, facts don't care about people's feelings.
I'm 54, so I've got that. And of course, we have paid through the nose. I was a season ticket holder for 6-7 years. I had to give it up 2 seasons ago. My mates have been trying to get me to go back because we've been terrible at home ever since. But the thing is, we're paying £1,400 for 19 games. Yes. I mean, this season, we're actually splitting one seat at Tottenham between 4 Tottenham fans. That's how much it's got.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry,
and that's what I'm saying is...
surprise me.
Well, no. And also, I worked at Palace. So I've done a lot of work at Palace. And I've got a lot of... Palace have got a soft spot for. You don't hear them saying, how dare Tottenham spend that money? We've won the FA Cup and the Conference League. How dare they spend all this money? It's just lunacy. And to be honest, Gabby Bonglahor, whoever he got the job at talkSPORT, he must have paid a lot of money for, because I can't see how his intelligence in football was on talkSPORT. But there we go.
He was a very good football player. Don't forget that, Darren. We remember, we deal with facts. Gabby was a good baller. Thank you very much, Darren. Great call. Let's head over and get a Newcastle opinion. Mike joins us on the show. Good evening, Mike.
Hi, lads. You all right?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
How are you feeling about the summer so far for Newcastle? Obviously, there's been some massive outgoings for you guys, and obviously there's talk of Bruno.
Slightly nervous is, I'd probably say, the best word I could say. My main point is that with Newcastle, obviously they're doing a lot of reports like we've got all this money and we can't spend it. But also on the same hand, you can't generate the commercial income to spend.
Mm-hmm.
So then the only thing you've got left is to actually sell your main assets, as it were.
Yeah, correct.
So as in, like, for me, don't get me wrong, I think Tottenham spending £100 million on Sandro Tonali is a bit mental, because £100 million is an obscene amount of money.
Okay, let me just quickly throw this, because that's what I've been hearing. When Arsenal brought Declan Rice for the same kind of money, was Declan Rice not one of, if not the best midfielder in the Premier League?
Yes.
Is Tonali, would you say with your Newcastle hat on, over the last couple of seasons, he's been one of the best midfielders?
No.
No. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, last year he had a poor year, particularly in his stats.
And the only reason being is because of the heartbeat of Newcastle's team is Bruno. Hands down, no questions asked. But with Sandro Tonali, he's also very capable of just going missing. And for me, as in, like, again, Declan Rice to Arsenal for £100 million, Elliot Anderson to Man City for £115 million. We're not just talking about a drop in the ocean. We're talking about a huge amount of money.
It's crazy. Listen, it started with Caicedo. Caicedo was that big money.
It's a benchmark for a deep line midfield player, because usually those sort of figures, or the bigger figures, went for offensive Stevie Gerrard type.
And that all comes back round to the full circle of where modern football is now. These players are crucial to the success of a football team.
I think, as in with regards to like Newcastle selling their assets, do I think Bruno will go? My heart says no, but my head's telling me yeah. And I just hope it's not another Alexander Isak saga.
Yeah, I don't think it will be, because I think Eddie probably assumes that it'd be unmanageable if he stayed, and I think in that process they'll just look for the best figure. And it'll go through. And he needs to rebuild the team, Mike, doesn't he? Let's be honest. You know, that team that Eddie had up there was brilliant. And last year it just sort of lost its way. And it looks like it needs breaking up anyway. I mean, you wouldn't want to lose Bruno, because he's an outstanding talent. They're one of the best midfield players in the Premier League, no doubt about that. And he covers offensive ground better than most midfield players. He's got more imagination, etc., etc. Be a big loss. But I do think Eddie's going to hopefully have a kitty where he can produce new signings that will engage the Newcastle fan and get you running again.
And there's one manager who's going to be very good at being able to assemble a new, fresh team, is Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
We've seen him do it before.
Yeah, he's positive. He
100% is. And I think he's the right man for the job at Newcastle. Listen, it's great stuff from everyone. I love how passionate everyone is about their clubs. That's the whole point. So loads of messages coming in. 03717 22 3344. It is the final word on talkSPORT.
I think you're underestimating Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, you can look at the figures and say, yeah, not brilliantly impressive, but every Newcastle fan will tell you he's the heartbeat of their team.
Yeah, that's Newcastle though, Jeff. Jeff, we're not Newcastle United.
Oh,
right?
Joe, don't be arrogant. Do not be arrogant, pal.
What do you mean not be arrogant? We're Premier League champions.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I don't want him at the club.
Yeah, you're Premier League champions now. You're Premier League champions now. Let's come on in 12 months' time and find out if you're going to say the same thing if you're not Premier League champions then.
Jeff, of course we're Premier League champions. We just won it a few months ago. Come on, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to give us a bit of time. What I'm saying is, good player, but I don't want him to be the marquee signing. If he is the marquee signing, I'm going to be upset.
Well, I tell you what, Joel, shouldn't you be worried? You're talking about marquee signings. Aren't you concerned about financial fair play, or the equivalent of as it is now? And you busting the rules.
Get rid of everyone you need to get rid of to make it happen. Because if you're spending 60 mil on a player, then that means people need to go as well, right? Get rid of. We've just spoken about Norgard. If you don't like him, get rid of
Trossard,
him.
Gabriel Jesus.
We're hearing Trossard. Get rid of all of them. You know, to be fair, I do like Trossard. And if it was up to me, I'd get rid of Martinelli instead. But get rid of who you need to get rid of. Then we can start talking business. But this better not be the marquee signing.
I do the marquee signing, but I agree that Arsenal need a left winger. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 80 million on Guimaraes and then you can't afford to go and buy, like, if Barcola's available, for instance, Joel, and he's worth 100. You know, you need a top left winger, don't you, on that side?
100%. And that's what I want to see. I want to see someone. Look, the reality is if Marcus Rashford was available at a good price, I would probably go for him. As long as, you know, it doesn't unbalance the team, because he's a great player. And the reason why I say unbalance the team is because, you know, you heard of the stuff at United before, how he was over there when things weren't going his way or things were a bit down. So I think it would be a good move for us to go in there and get him.
Everybody's here to see the stars come out to play. Here's Kylian Mbappe! Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes! Never doubt the quality of Kylian Mbappe!
Best player is Kylian Mbappe again. Lamine Yamal has won every single competitive finals game he's played. Played 8, won 8, and Spain have never lost when they picked it.
Coming in the shot, Messi! It is in! Master of all, he surveys!
When he runs with the ball, it seems to be almost underneath him. So hard to dispossess it.
Harry, your country needs you here. You've got to put this away. Right footed, he has!
The potential for heartbreak or euphoria.
We're looking forward to that, the semi-finals of the World Cup, and of course England are involved, taking on Argentina, and it's France against Spain. We're going to be talking about that in a moment's time, but let's head to Wimbledon for the latest on the men's final with talkSPORT's Lisa O'Sullivan.
Well, the sun is on the run from centre court with just the far corner of the grass to the right of the royal box illuminated now. But it's golden hour on the court. One unconverted break point in the whole match. Champion last year, Yannick Sinner, finally levelling in the second set, taking that 7 points to 2, with Alexander Zverev having taken the first 9 points to 7. Scintillating tennis, guaranteed at least 4 sets, with 3 games all in the third.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Just quickly, I want to say a big hello to my wife, Emma, listening with my kids, Alice and Leo, who just finished their Kung Fu grading.
Oh.
Leo's brown belt now.
Brown belt.
Brown belt, and Alice is blue belt.
Wow, that's good.
So congratulations, kids.
And
well
good
done.
disciplines, I should imagine. Good social discipline.
Good disciplines indeed. And we're going to need discipline on Wednesday evening when we play against Argentina.
Intimidation factor, 10 out of 10.
Absolutely. Jude Bellingham versus Messi. The GOAT versus a potential GOAT for England.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker.
Is that how you're seeing it?
Well, Messi's Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously the master. And Luke Skywalker, Bellingham, our number 10, who definitely has got the bit between his teeth. Really and he's like, come on, take us there, Bellingham.
Absolutely. And then, of course, in France against Spain, Yamal against Mbappe.
Another young Jedi, Yamal. He hasn't really lit up. I mean, we haven't got an iconic goal yet, and I do feel there's one coming.
You think it'll be that one?
He's been like he's had some moments that have almost not quite happened, but there's still time. I have to say, just on a little footnote about Spain, I watched Rodri the other night, and he played as well as I've ever seen him play.
Ah, he's so good.
He really looks on it at the moment. So good news for Spain.
This introduction of Elliot Anderson to Manchester City at that price, did you reckon Rodri might be off?
I think I would assume that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Where to? Real Madrid?
Yeah, I would think that would be the obvious move because obviously, he's done everything he can at Man City and probably wants a new challenge.
He'd be perfect for Jose, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely
nice
perfect. That is the kind of Jose player.
Yeah, and Anderson would give him a new look. Who I thought actually was brilliant last night. He's coming.
He played well,
and even I was sort of thinking maybe we're better off with Rice, Bellingham, Rodgers, but last night he was terrific. I'm pleased for him. He needed that performance.
Yeah, he did indeed. Pards, I'm so excited. Wednesday, England-Argentina World Cup semi-final.
It's great, isn't it? And it's brilliant for.
Get excited. Please I want everyone to get excited.
They are.
We're all talking and Spurs, Venom. Listen, we're together as one as England.
My young daughters are in and around all the events that have been going on, and they got some friends who they don't even know what a footballer looks like. That kind of.
And they're loving it.
And they're loving it. So
like I said, can you imagine if we won the World Cup, the party that would be in this country? It'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
Well, we know we can party.
We can party.
Yeah.
Pards, thank you very much. It's been great to see you, mate.
And I'm pleased you got your Tottenham rant off. I think it was important for you, for your mental well-being this week, right? Because it's important because you love that club and it's good. You need to get it off.
It's a right to reply. I've heard a lot been said, and there's the right to reply. Thank you for all your calls this evening, and of course, thanks to Pards, the gaffer. The Sports Breakfast Show returns tomorrow from 6 a.m. with Shabanahan and Gabs. Gabs is on there.
I think he'll have something to say, won't he?
Oh, listen, Gabs is good stuff, as I always say. I stick up for Gabs when anyone tries to talk about his career. Top player. And both World Cup semi-finals will be live on talkSPORT on Tuesday and Wednesday. Still to come this evening. We've missed him today, haven't we, Kev Atchard? He's part of the Sunday Dream Team when we were doing.
He's here now.
How are we, chaps? Well,
there he is.
There he is. He'll be here in an hour.
The man that knows everything when it comes to world football.
If you want to ring in and you don't know somebody who's playing very well in this World Cup, ring up and ask him.
Listen, me and Pards never profess to know every single name of every single player of every single club. People expect.
I don't even know the starting 11 at Palace.
But I'll tell you who somebody does is Kev Hatchard. So, yeah, still to come this evening, the Trans-Europe Express returns.
How are we, chaps? Well?
We are well indeed. Coming up next is going to be a great listen. And, of course, those that are itching for more England talk, as you've been telling me on your texts when I start speaking about Spurs, the England talk continues. And it's going to be a big one. It's the World Cup Daily with the one and only Adrian Durham, England legend Stuart Pearce, and Jim Proudfoot. From Madge and Pards, there's only one thing to say.
Have a super, super week and fingers crossed for Wednesday night.
It's coming home.
Because Infantino, though, Simon, has said, yes, I got a call from Trump on Balogun.
Yeah.
They have allowed themselves to be boxed into a ridiculous corner, haven't they?
Well, it's one thing players cheating on a field, but when the people that are supposed to uphold the game ignore the integrity of their own positions, to damage the authenticity of what people might be watching, and challenge the legitimacy of it by allowing one set of group of people to have an advantage and not on others, you should start worrying about the existential threat that has to the game and start worrying about what's happening to the football and where it's going next and what will happen to it next.
Because if the Balogun situation did exist, and we never heard of a call going in from Trump to Infantino, the Kwanzaa 2-match ban
would be less controversial.
Would be much less controversial. It would almost come and go.
But again, we've got to distill it backwards, I think. Mm-hmm. If you sit there and you say, why is there no process available to rescind a red card? Why would there not be one? What is the logical thinking? Maybe FIFA can explain to us why it was necessary for the Trump regime to instigate some thinking into FIFA that should have been there in the first place. It shouldn't require Trump to be involved in the conversation. It should have been a simple appeal And by the way, US Soccer would have been all over this. It wasn't just Trump that did it. It was US Soccer that probably prompted him to do it.
Yeah.
And they're sort of going in the background. It's not us, it's our commander-in-chief. No, Trump makes all the noise and carries all the cachet.
Yeah.
But there should have been a process.
There's no regularity to this, Simon. Ironically, if you get sent off for in the Premier League for serious foul play,